Hello, everyone. Welcome to a legendary episode of Odd Shaped Panel. I'm Tom Bennis.
I am Kimber Barrett.
Talk about mythology and religious lore in pop culture. One has been asked for a long time, because I wanted to wait for American Gods, and now that that's out and we're doing a recap show, we can do this. So I'm sure Cal is very happy because he's the one who requested this first. And so he'll be our first caller. Is there anything else we wanted to talk about before we...
We will have an announcement about the next episode of Odd Shaped Panel, and it's pretty fun news. And for that, we will be announcing that maybe a couple callers in. I don't know. I think that's it.
Real quick, we'll do shout-outs to everyone in the chat. Hello, Cory, Billy, Cal, Delisha. Did I see anybody else? Guy in the hall. Kimber, how are you in two places?
Yeah, I think that's everyone.
So that's everyone. Hello, TJ. See, look, I had to wait a little.
Hey, TJ.
Matt. See, Ashley. This is why I waited a few seconds. So, welcome everyone. This should be a fun episode. If you're interested in calling in, real quick, this is the list we have as of right now of who the callers are going to be.
Right now, I have Cal, Jusef, Tom, Billy, Ashley and Joe, Cory, Mac, TJ if he wants to come in, and Matt if he wants to come in.
So it should be a fun time. And
Raul's going to be by later.
Yeah.
I know a couple more people are stopping by too. I'm excited.
So before we get started, I wanted to real quick, just because I feel like such a big part of pop culture and it's kind of like overlooked. And I know I was exposed to it at a very young age.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you are as well. So if you want to do yours in the chat of what your first experience with mythology and pop culture is, we'll read those off. But I was curious, what do you think is yours?
I don't know. It's so hard to say because it's everywhere. Maybe like the Disney Hercules movie.
That's a good pick.
I love Greek mythology. I always thought it was really interesting. I might be talking about some of that tonight.
That's funny because I was going Kevin Sorbo Hercules, which was around the same time. I remember the Kevin Sorbo animated Hercules movie, and it didn't hold a candle to the Disney one. But all right, well, I'm gonna give Cal a call since I actually have his email prepared, and I've been better at that since we've been doing our show together. Cal is the co-host of American Odds, our American Gods recap show, and he's also the host of Night's Watch, which will be coming back once Game of Thrones is back on, or a week earlier to be specific. But...
Hey Eric, we see you in the chat. Welcome.
Oh, nice. We'll get to it more later when Tom comes on. But great fight, everyone who fought on Sunday. It was a lot of fun seeing some new faces.
Hello.
Hey, Cal, how's it going, buddy?
What's going on, guys?
Time. It's here.
Finally.
How did your show go? Cal just had his pay-per-view aftermath show.
Yeah, we talked about with Leisha and I talked about Backlash from last night, the SmackDown brand pay-per-view. So check it out. We unfortunately Eric couldn't make it because we had to start a little earlier, but we got it in time, finished in time, so it's there, and hopefully can add something to later. But the next one will be in June, so we're excited.
And the link for that is in the description down below, and as well as all of the other guest content that has been on the show, you can go to oddshapechannel.com, and we have updated videos for everyone.
If we ever forget you in any of those links, just let us know and we can update it and make sure that everyone's included.
But I think we should go ahead and get right into these questions. And you asked the first one, which is fitting. You asked us, what is your favorite culture based on mythology or religious lore?
Wait, what was it? Was it the weapon one or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It broke up for a second because I didn't hear what the. All right. Yeah, my favorite weapon from mythology. That's basically what, yes, right.
Yep.
I think it would have to be the Sudarsana Chakra, which is like the Indian way of saying it's the Krishna, the god Krishna, or the person Krishna, who is a avatar of Shiva. He has a or Vishnu, sorry, Vishnu. He has a weapon called the Sudarsana Chakra, which is like a disc that he has on his finger. You can see it probably in a lot of pictures, and it's kind of like Xena's weapon, where he can just like throw it at people. And except this beheads, like it goes through people and like beheads them and bounces off a lot of people, can like behead all of them, and it comes right back to him. So it's pretty awesome and brutal.
Well,
So
it's
watch,
funny
yeah.
that because my pick, and it's not like explicitly like called this, but uh Yondu's arrow from Guardians of the Galaxy reminds me a lot of like the projectile slash arrow weapons in like the Hindu religion.
Mm-hmm.
So many of them that like, but they like all come back to the quiver. Some of them are only controlled by like mind. There's one that's really cool that the only way to not get hit by it is to surrender to it. And in Guardians of the Galaxy, that happens all the time. Like Rocket, like will put his head down, but if you like try to fight it, it will go right through you. So I thought that was like, it's not like said that that's what it's based off of, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool arrows, and if you watch any of those, like the Mahabharata, the Ramayana, and you watch that, you'll see them pray. Like when I was a little kid, I used to do that. I used to have a bow and arrow set, and I always like prayed and try to get one of those arrows like they did in the things. They different ones, like they turn into like snakes that multiply into like 70 arrows and all that cool stuff. It's like really bad technical graphics for back in the day, but they just redid them on Indian TV now, so I haven't wanted to watch them. But my parents said they're really good, much better than ones that I watched when I was a kid, and that would be my answer for the first experience of pop culture, I guess, if you consider that pop culture, is the watching the Indian epics when I was younger and seeing all that stuff.
Yeah, I so much of that reads like cool science fiction. Like I wish like that you could make so many, like, I don't want to like make it like this because it didn't do well at all, but that Gods of Egypt movie, how it like had like sci-fi elements, but it was also based on like Egyptian lore. It could have been really cool. I think that would be even cooler because like I'm horrible at pronouncing things. I was literally tweeting Cal before this, like asking him how I can pronounce things because I don't want to say something wrong. The stories or the fables are just so awesome. I don't know. They're really cool. And I hope some of that carries on and over to American Gods eventually.
Yeah, I'm
That would
excited to
be
see that. That'd be interesting to see, especially for me, to see how they would do it, because I know they show like I know you guys call him the god Ganesh, like they show him in the opening. So I want to see if they obviously have like Hindu religion in there, I guess. So I can't wait to see that
Wait, which
if they
one?
have it.
Who's
It's in the intro.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I also picked something that basically stems from religious lore, but in a different religion and on a completely different show and stuff. And I'm gonna go ahead and pick the first blade from Supernatural. The first blade is Supernatural's interpretation of the jawbone that Cain used to murder his brother Abel. And it was really cool on the show because we got Cain on the show, and he was like a sexy old man, and he was super awesome, and he had this cool like storyline related to Dean, and Dean inherits the weapon but also the mark of Cain, and it causes like a lot of crazy stuff to happen. But it looks awesome. It's literally like a knife that's a jawbone from what is it?
It's a donkey.
A donkey's jawbone,
Or a mule.
or a mule. So the weapon looks really cool, and I loved how they incorporated it into the storyline. And I wish Raul was here already because I know he'd be backing me up in the chat here. But it was cool.
I actually saw that episode because I think Kane's the one with played by Timothy Osmondson, right? The guy from Psych, Detective Lassiter on Psych. Yeah, so I remember seeing that, and
Who looks completely different.
yeah, it was cool.
And when he plays Cain, but yeah, it was definitely more than one episode. It was like a storyline for at least half of the season, maybe a whole season. And I thought it was really cool on the show, and I liked what they did with it. So.
Yeah. I agree.
Our second question comes to us from the lovely Delisha, who I see in the chat right there. She asked, "What mythology would you like to see explored on the big screen or TV?"
I'd have to go with the same answer. Hindu, like the Hindu mythology, because I when I was so young, I loved watching the Ramayana and Mahabharata. When I bought those DVDs again when I was in college just to rewatch it, and I had them all in my basement. And I love as bad as it was, like special effects and all that. It was still so fun to watch, and just holds a special place in my heart because that's what I grew up on, and it's like my religion and all that. So if they could make that like modernized, but not like as bad as certain movies they make nowadays about mythology, I'd love to see that. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to see that too.
Yeah, like I said,
it's just really cool, colorful stories and interesting imagery, and so like something that's not utilized enough in pop culture, that it's got all these cool, beautiful like stories within the lore that they could be pulling from and making really interesting adaptations of, and you don't see it. Like you see Christian mythology
Right.
repeated over and over and over again, but like I'm with you, I would love to see that as well.
a big thing about religion mythology text is like interpretation, because I don't think the Bible are talking about actually are like the boat with the, and I'm sorry, but I'm atheist, so if anyone, but like the whole Noah's Ark thing, but that could stand for something else. You know what I mean? It could be a metaphor. I don't take everything literally, but you can interpret all these things and reimagine them into stories in so many cool ways, especially with the Hindu stuff. But I was also thinking, I want a good King Arthur movie. Like they just did that Guy Pearce, or was it Guy Ritchie? And
Yeah.
I'm not excited at all for that. But like Arthurian tale is really cool, but no one has done it well. Like they tried. I think I was listening to, I think it was Comic Book Girl, and like they tried to do that one like 10 years ago, another one, or maybe that was Weekly Planet, but and that didn't do well either. Like there's so much good stuff.
And they show Camelot, don't forget, as well on Stars.
I didn't watch that, but I haven't heard anything great about it. So
Yeah, I mean, it was entertaining, but it wasn't that good. And I agree with
Tom makes a good point in the chat. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. That's the closest thing to a good King Arthur story we have.
I do agree with Kimber. Like I like all the other like mythologies and all that are like shown always like on like TV and movies. Like you see a lot of Greek mythology, you see like Egyptian mythology and all that. Like we never really see Hindu mythology or anything at all. That's all I'm trying to go outside, and try to pick something that like we don't really see much of, and I would love to see.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, and I didn't have a really solid choice for this answer, but I'm just gonna agree with Cal. Like now that I'm hearing you talk, like I would love to see that. Like that would be awesome. Yeah. And I think that like now would be a good time for stuff like that, because we do have things like Supernatural and American Gods, and obviously people have interest in stuff like that. And again, it's like a beautiful untapped resource that's just sitting there and ripe for them to do something with a cool director and a good writer and do an excellent job. Like with all this neat.
And I looked a lot of different countries have done different interpretations of this, but like America and like markets that we would be exposed to, like even like weird Russian, like I see weird Russian films more than I've seen this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's very underutilized.
Our third question comes to us from the beautiful Ashley at _Mrs. Davis. She asked, "What is the best modern take on a mythological story or figure?"
Best modern take. Oh wow. I mean, it's still early for American Gods. Right? I'm really enjoying American Gods, so I don't want to say that yet because there's a lot of cool stuff there. I mean, I really do like Anubis though, but I don't know if you guys watched the recent one, but that was pretty cool too. I kind of really enjoy the Percy Jackson movies too, because I felt like I love Greek mythology, and watching Percy Jackson movies.
I really like the first one.
Yeah.
It felt like a cool like teen version of the Odyssey, which I thought was important because maybe it would get people interested in actually reading the original. I say like the original, but it's like thousands of years old. Spoiler alert. But I didn't really have any interest in the second one, so I don't really.
See, I love like Titans and like the Greek gods, so you get more of what's happening. I don't know if you read the books, but you get more of what's happening, the backstory about Titans and gods and all that with the second movie. So That's why it's just I liked it more.
For sure.
That one?
I did, and I think me and Cal talked about it at the Game of Thrones watch party. We were just talking about that in the chat. Mario is a retelling, like it's never again stated that it is, but there's so many similarities that it's kind of hard to argue with it. But Mario is a retelling of the
Ramayan.
I almost had it, Ramayan.
Yeah.
Right? Cool. And it follows this guy named Rawan.
No, Ram is the main character. So Ramayan means the story
Jan?
of Ram. So Ram is the main character, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, how about you explain that? Like, I really like it, but I'm just
Take
bad
it
at
away,
names.
Cal.
I can't say Donald Sutherland and Kiefer Sutherland.
So, well, the Ramayan is the story of Ram, who's the main character. It starts out with his parents and stuff like that, and his father marries two different women, and they have, I guess, was it five children? No, four children. So, Ram, and then Bharat, Lakshman, and Shatrughna, and basically the mother of the eldest child. What the tradition is, the eldest child becomes the king of, becomes a king. That's like in most cultures, and but Ram was like the more deserving one, I think. So they wanted to give to Ram, but the mother, the older one of the other one, said no, my son should be the king. So he lost a bet or something like that, and made Ram go into exile. So it's basically Ram's story while he's in exile, with his wife, and his trusty brother Lakshman goes with him. And Bharat takes Ram's slippers and goes, I don't deserve it. Like, you're the brother who deserves it. Takes his slippers and puts it on the throne and says, this will hold your place on the throne until you come back. And he has to go for like, I don't know, like 20 years, like a long time. And during that time, his wife is supposedly super beautiful, and she gets kidnapped by the demon king named Rawan, who you were trying to say earlier. And he takes her back to his home in Sri Lanka, and the rest of the story is him trying to get there and bring her back and defeat evil, which is Rollins. So that's a lot like Bowser taking away the princess. And Mario has his brother Luigi, whereas Ram has Lakshman, and they both travel. They meet like mystical creatures and stuff like that. One of which they mentioned is Hanuman, who's like a monkey, and
Yeah, who's like
Ram could ride Hanuman. Actually,
He's got props.
Oh,
He's going full Billy. He's gonna
like
need some props.
here's like Hanuman right here, and this trusty like Gada, which is like a mace, and Ram can ride him just like Mario could ride Yoshi, kind of thing, So Sri Lanka from India is there's the Indian Ocean in between it, so you can't get to it. So Hanuman goes ahead and scouts and finds that she's there. He starts burning it down. Then Ram meets like bird people and bear people and all these kind of different people, and they form a bridge using all these rocks. They defeat demons along the way to eventually go and save the princess from the demon king, which is Bowser in this case. So it's, going to different castles and stuff. It's just like Mario, like you're trying to say.
yeah, and I like I said, it's about interpretation. So it's cool, like how a Japanese company can make a game about an Italian plumber based on Hindu lore. Like, cool. I also think like the fire flowers have like some like connection and stuff too. So it's some imagery as well as the characters. But
I do. Hi Raul, you missed me talking about the first Blade. I have very strong feelings about this question because I have been looking for a place to fit this answer, and I'm just going to start out by saying that Moana is the best Disney movie that has been made. Mulan. It is a beautiful movie, and if you guys have not seen it, please do. Like, literally, I was so emotional watching this movie. My eyes were just wet the entire time because it was so beautiful. My pick for this is probably going to be specifically Maui. Moana's pretty cool because they actually mixed like a lot of Polynesian cultures, backgrounds, and histories and mythologies and stuff together to make this Polynesian themed movie. They took from like Maori tribes and Hawaiian culture and Samoan and I just loved what they did with Maui. For those of you who don't know, Maui is a demigod. He has a hook that helps him shapeshift into animals. He has a bunch of tattoos, obviously, which is a huge deal to me as a tattoo artist to have them visibly doing like tattoos in the movie, like tattooing a person, and for them to be like a huge plot point in the movie and treated with respect and love, as they should be in a movie based on Polynesian culture. But Maui's sidekick is actually like one of his tattoos that he can like he talks to, and it's kind of like acts as his conscience in a way.
Like a Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah, it moves around, and like when he gets mad at it, he flicks it, and it goes on his back or whatever and stuff. And I'm just a big fan of what they did. The Rock was fantastic, and his performance was filled with joy. Like you could feel it watching him. I love every bit of it. Beautiful.
What's really cool is that apparently the tattoo wasn't even supposed to be a thing in it, and there was a scene that they had at first where they cut it out of the movie, so this isn't a spoiler. But his tattoo gets knocked out in a fight, and he like has to resuscitate it on his arm, and it comes back, and there's a moment between them, and that tested so well that like it became his sidekick, and then that scene never like made it. For a movie with no love interest, it's really good, and it reminds me a lot, like you're saying Mulan, but I got a lot of, because I felt like Aladdin meant a lot for me as a boy growing up.
It's got a lot of Hercules in there as well,
Yeah.
too. It's reminiscent of all the best parts of a lot of Disney movies, with at the same time being this totally original thing. And the freaking animation they did on this movie is next level. It is gorgeous. I felt like when they did Brave, they had some new technology that they had to innovate to do Brave the way that they wanted to, and it really shows in Moana that they've leveled up. The water is kind of a character on its own, and when I tell you this water is amazing to look at and that it's beautiful, and I believe that it's real water, like I was blown away. Moana is my jam.
And that's why I was saying Aladdin, because like the water reminds me a lot of carpet, and it moves and emotes, and like the cape from Doctor Strange. Disney's awesome at that. But also like The Rock reminded me a lot. His performance reminded me a lot of Robin Williams in Aladdin. Not as over the top, you know what I mean, but so fun. And like you're saying, like you could tell he was having.
And he's
fun.
kind of an anti-hero. He's just like a really layered character, because in a way he's like the reason that everything went wrong. She's like fixing his problems in the movie. And I love that it's not romantic at any point with any characters in that movie. And also, again, like what I was talking about with Cal on the other question, like it's super important to have this culture represented and to give people exposure, and have like Polynesian little girls can look at this movie and see themselves in this character and have, you know, this amazing, super inspirational, feminist, badass character to look up to, like when they're growing up. Diversity, it's gorgeous.
Kimber was watching this. Me and Kimber watched it together. I watched it for the first time. She watched it for the third time.
Like fifth time.
Her eyes still got misty-eyed. But the first time she watched it, she was watching it with Candace down in Florida, and she had to stop to text me that there was tattooing in the movie.
And there's also, like one more thing, because I know I'm going on, but I'm just extremely enthusiastic about how great that movie is. But there's a freaking, the villain song, Shiny, is basically the best song in the whole thing, in my opinion, rivaled only maybe by You're Welcome, which is the Rock's number. It's super charming, but the villain song, in my opinion, is better than Moana's main song, How Far I'll Go. And it was written with David Bowie in mind. So it's basically a David Bowie song. Unfortunately, he got really sick and passed away and didn't get to do it. But they put Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords in to do that song. Because if you're a Flight of the Conchords fan, there's like a whole bit about him playing Bowie and stuff on the show. And that was a genius move. And it was cool to see like one of my favorite comedians like that in a Disney movie as the villain. The whole thing was a thrill. I love it all.
Yeah, it was really good.
You should really check out. There's a cool YouTube video of this girl who's like just like Moana. It's just YouTube real life Moana, and they do that song How Far I'll whatever the name of the song is. Like they have that.
Oh, I'll check it out. Tom will tell you I listen to the Moana songs like on a loop. I'm a huge fan.
I want to
can't
see it so
stop.
badly because I love The Rock, and United gave us a free movie, so I watched that one.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah, I
like
loved it.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I'm a huge fan. All right, let's get this last question in.
All right. So, Jusef Canessa, at Why I Love Movies,
Who will be calling in tonight?
with the letter Y, asked, "What mythological creature has been completely misused?"
Misused. I don't know. Yeah, no, I was like thinking maybe like I like those like large mythical creatures from like Greek mythology, like the Kraken and like the Hydra, and I feel like they haven't really been used well. Even any of like the Greek mythology creatures, I feel like that unlike the original class of Titans, Pegasus was used really well, but other than that, I don't think they've been like used that well. They don't really get that good screen time or an accurate depiction. Besides in the movie, like in the Hercules show, I used to love watching the show with Kevin Sorbo. I think they did a pretty decent job with that, but other than that, I don't think any like the Greek mythology creatures, any of them, like
Well, it's funny. I feel like because I was gonna pick Kraken too, but then I remembered like the Kraken was one of the best parts of Pirates of the Caribbean 2, Davy Jones' Locker, whatever the one is.
yeah.
Like when all that stuff's going on with the boat and the sword fight over the heart and the Kraken, I thought it was very intimidating and stuff. But like the new Clash of Titans, like that was horrible, and that. I mean,
The Kraken's pretty cool in the original Clash of the Titans,
Yeah.
though. My brother has it tattooed on his arm, actually.
but I was gonna say, and it's not all dragons, but because yeah, I know because you would think dragons are oversaturated, but
I do
I'm
not think that. I
well,
love dragons.
I'm more in the camp of Smog versus like Game of Thrones dragons, and don't get me wrong, they're
because
awesome.
he talks.
Yeah, because I'm a big like guy like, and dragons are like very smart. Like they're like considered. I would consider a dragon as smart as Gandalf is. You know what I mean? Like,
And they're kind of trickstery, too.
yeah, and and they all have different characteristics depending on like their habitat and stuff. Like black dragons breathe like swamp gas, and that's really cool. But they all shape shifting abilities and stuff like that. And I don't expect like to get all of that from there, but at least making them
like,
sentient.
And Smog like has like the dragon's greed and stuff
Yeah.
too. Like I do think Smog is one of the best examples. Although Tolkien says that Smog is a worm, and this is clearly a wyvern.
A wyvern, yeah.
But that's like a minor, extremely nerdy complaint. I do think that if Smog wasn't as awesome as he was, because I liked that. I thought that the Hobbit movies would be way worse than they are if he wasn't so interesting. At least we get to see a Smog, arguably, like he said, the best dragon in like modern writing. Can you even think of another one that's like that?
Well, I was gonna say, and I gotta call up my buddy Joe Sanders for quote unquote guilty podcast. Dragonheart. I love Dragonheart. I don't care what anybody says. It doesn't have. I like the why. Where else are you gonna get a Scottish dragon?
Smog.
Okay, that was my first example, and for good reason. If you can think of another talking dragon in the chat,
A good talking dragon.
Was
preferably.
Puff the Magic Dragon or the Never-Ending Story Dragon
did they talk or did they just like gesture?
or Pete's Dragon, the new movie?
I didn't watch that.
Yeah.
I loved Reign of Fire. That was cool. That was a cool sci-fi mythology like thing.
Another
But,
thing I was
what
going to
your-
say about
what-
the Greek mythology creatures not being used well. I think the one time they actually used really well was in like the movie, the God of War video games. That they're used very well in that. So that like that you actually see them, I think, properly used.
Misused. I could have maybe answered. I have like a sidebar, but Kirins. Do you guys know what Kirins are?
I do, but only because you tell me.
They are Chinese unicorns, basically, and they're really cool. They have like a scaling on them, like a dragon, but they kind of look like a deer, and they have like one singular like antler. They're really cool, and I wish that someone would put them in something, just because they're beautiful and interesting and never used. But my choice for this question, for the misused one, is mermaids. Mermaids are always portrayed pretty much wrong. I want some mermaids that drown dudes, like lure them and drown them and eat them and ruin them, and aren't like just beautiful girls that are there for like eye candy, who are always like sweet
And
or
have
like breathing
thingamabobbers.
into your mouth to save you, like on Hook, or sacrificing their royal family and their entire lives to chase a dude on land that they've never met. Mermaids are horribly changed from what they were to start out with, and I want scary mermaids, evil ones.
They had that movie.
Woods have scary.
It had
mermaids?
a scary. It was a merman, I think.
Oh, okay.
But that was closer.
No, but they also had the movie with the the Killer Mermaid movie. It's one of those like low budget sci-fi movies.
Yeah, but I
Well,
want like a
good
good
one.
one. You know, like
Like the sirens, like of the like mythology, kind of where they lure men in, and
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I think we need more of that, because even like Doctor Who kind of dabbled with like the siren idea, but then it became like totally not like with that black dot.
Janine says that
episode.
Harry Potter had
Yeah.
the mermaids.
Yeah, they did.
Those, yeah.
The books, they go more into those though. Like those, like were kind of serviced into the movies, but he actually had like a real encounter.
I get that there are some like minor examples, but I'm talking about changing the view of mermaids to the general public.
And the thing is, usually when they like make like the monstrous, they look like deformed and stuff. It would still like
I want them
still
to
want
be
a
beautiful,
hot
and
mermaid.
that's how they
still
get you
kill
to come over.
like
yeah.
the femme fatale mermaid.
This is what I'm talking about. But I think that was all the questions.
All right, Cal. Well, you're not going to be at American Gods
Yes.
tomorrow. Where are you?
No, I can't. We're gonna see Baywatch.
No, you're not. Okay. I just we have so much going on that.
Yeah.
But
I will be there Wednesday though for Twin Peeps.
and
Cool.
and for those who did watch The Last American Gods, and I know Cory pointed this out on Twitter, and I'm glad he was concerned. Mavis did have a guest appearance in that episode, but she's okay. She was just acting. So she's fine. She's right here. She's in the same position, but she's moving.
You watching Woody Woodpecker?
But, yeah. So where can everyone find you if they want to talk to you?
You can find me on Twitter at VeronJaDejaVu, at after_Matt, and at NightsWatchTube. And on the Kingslayer channel on YouTube, and check out all the videos, and on WordShape, on the OddShape channel, WordPress as well. So.
Yep. The link to his latest Aftermath, as well as his personal Twitter handle, is down in the description. And I forgot where I was segueing to.
You can always see me next week, on American Odds as well. So.
Yeah.
Website.
Oh, yeah, no, it was the website. And we're going to be posting your article after OSP tonight about Backlash. So check out OddShape channel. Do that up there. .com.
I just want to thank you guys for us finally getting to the mythology episode. Also, I've been campaigning this forever. So I'm great. I'm glad. It just sucks I can't stay the whole time with this research schedule changing. I was so upset. But thank you for having me guys on early and everything.
No, it's no problem. And unfortunately, usually anyone who watches our show will notice that Morgan and Nolan are missing home and they're safe, but they're just having a busy night and they can't make it tonight. But check out their content too. That's all on the channel or on the website. Like more people's stuff is on our website than our stuff. So check it out. It's a fun little hub for everyone. But thank you, Cal, for coming by.
Me, guys. Thanks for having me on early too.
No problem. You coming to Twin Peeps?
Yeah, I'll be there. Twin Peeps.
All right, cool.
All right. See you guys. Enjoy.
Yeah,
I'll be here. I'll be here as long as I can.
Oh, great. We'll see you in the chat.
All right, bye.
I also do want to say hello to Janine. I saw in the chat. I don't know if I verbally said hello to the Erics.
Delisha.
I said hello to Delisha. I thought. If not, hello to Delisha again.
Jusef is next.
I haven't seen Jusef in the chat. Have you?
I thought so for a second. No?
Jusef, if you're watching, shine a little light in the chat. And if not, Tom will be up next. But let's see. What else is there to talk about? Our next. You want to be on camera for our announcement? Okay. Well, you know what? We'll wait for that for when they're actually on. We had to change our cord. I bought an air conditioner, and so I didn't have an extra extension cord, so I had to rearrange everything. And now the laptop thing is going right. It's like a tripwire, and Kimber just keeps getting it.
Why don't you tell them about Philly and the business cards? Thank the patrons.
Yeah. Again, thank you to all of our patrons. We have a few of them in the chat right now, and I will acknowledge them because they earned it. Raul, number one, our patron producer. Also, our local buddy Matt, and Ashley and Joe. I'm trying to see who else. I think Delisha, right? I think that's
Randall is as well, but I don't.
Randall's not in the chat right now, but Randall, when you watch this later, we miss you. He is gonna come try to come by. He said so.
Mormo.
Yeah, Mormo. I miss Mormo. All right, so I'm not hearing anything from Jusef, so we'll keep a slot open for him whenever he can come by.
We'll go to Tom.
And we'll go to Tom. Tom, I don't know if I have your email, but let me see if I can pull you up.
We need your Gmail.
Oh no, I should have him because I made him a moderator last time. He got me out of a hole during OSP and chill.
And he'll be able to tell us a little bit about the fan friction experience. That was really fun to watch, by the way, to everyone who competed on that show. It was nice to see some fresh faces, and you guys all did a really great job.
Yeah, and I think it was cool. It was like 3 unique personalities, and yet they're all...
Sure.
Tom, I don't come by your job and tell you how to email cars. How's it going, bud?
Hey, how's it going? All right. Just had to make sure I muted your channel. Yes, it is. I love it. One of those few things that pops up on your Facebook that you're like, you know, I actually do want that. Yes.
I've had that experience as well.
I think we all have it.
Great fight. I kind of want to hear your thoughts on fan friction.
Well, speed rounds are tough.
Oh, dude,
I'll tell you that much.
Story of my life.
I mean, I've been beating myself up since the moment it ended that I lost in the frickin' Arnold question, because I was standing right next to this.
Oh my god.
I just froze for a moment, then he said Terminator 2. I'm like, shit. How am I gonna fight?
Funny you couldn't recall that answer.
I love puns.
Totally.
I'm gonna get more coffee.
Yeah, I'll start out with the questions.
Great. Why'd you hit me?
Boom! That's what you get.
By the way, and I don't know if Eric is planning on calling in later, but I will shout out him as well because he is in the fight. But if you look down below, next to Tom's Twitter handle, there is a link to that fan friction, so you can see that fight. I'm out.
Sweet.
All right. I would make a joke about being the future fan friction champion, but Brian's not here to see it, so it's pointless.
Fair enough.
Also, everyone should check out Brian's show, DVD Bunker. I'm going to shout out everybody tonight. First question. Cal asked us, what is your favorite weapon in pop culture based on mythology or religious lore?
I had to think about that for a while, and actually had to do a little bit of research. In pop culture, based on religion or mythology, I'd have to go with the Ark of the Covenant from Raiders of the Lost Ark. That was a great one, and a moment of horror for many kids expecting, you know, the fun adventure movie ending in face-melting horror. So that was always interesting. And another thing I kind of stumbled upon in my research was the Sword of Attila, which was actually, which he believed to be the sword of Mars. So this was this man thinking that he is the god of war, and that was his explanation for, like tearing through various armies because he is a deity.
Yeah. Um, Delisha at Delisha_Renee asked us, what mythology would you like to see explored on the big screen or TV?
I had a couple answers for that one. I'd like to see take another shot at the true Odyssey. The Odyssey is always one that's really interesting to me, and I think with our love of 2 and 3 part films, that would be a pretty easy thing to split up into multiple films, considering the epicness, unintended, of the stories. And just from my home area, I'd like to see a good Jersey Devil movie.
Nice. I think Tom would agree with you on that. A Jersey Devil movie.
Yeah.
Tom's into that. Yep.
What?
Yeah, it's interesting that you say the Odyssey because I almost picked for my choice for the next question, "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" Which
Damn
is
it! Way to
like
spoil it.
storytelling of that. And I'm a big fan of that interpretation. I think that movie is beautiful. But yeah, I could get down with that choice. I'd watch that. There's a reason that classic stories have been around forever, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think you've seen a Jersey Devil movie. I looked it up, and then there was like a couple probably straight to DVD movies, but I mean, I know it's kind of an East Coast thing, but it'd be a fun thing to make a low budget horror movie out of.
Upstate New York, so that's part of Tom's interest as well.
All right, and I'm big, and I kind of want to do a cryptozoology specific episode because I was kind of like not gonna get into that for this episode. I kind of nixed urban legends for Kim Hanley when she asked. There's just way too much to cover, but what are we talking about?
The Jersey Devil.
Yeah, I'm sorry, of course. The Pine Barrens in New Jersey. It's like this big expanse of like natural reserves. And apparently in like the colonial age, this woman named Mrs. Leeds, she had like 12 kids already. And then like her 13th kid, she was like, oh, let this kid be the child of the devil. And it was. And now it just like flies around and like haunts people. But like there was a Jersey Devil episode of X-Files. And I remember the first time I watched it, I was super excited. And then it just turned out to be like nature people.
Yeah.
So that was a little disappointing. But I also have this weird theory, and again, I'm not gonna get into it. I think the Mothman from the Mothman prophecies and the Jersey Devil are the same entity, because the Jersey Devil goes missing during the whole time the Mothman sightings are going on, and then once the sightings for the Mothman go, then the Jersey Devil shows back up.
Never seen him in the same place at the same time.
He could also be Batman.
Nice. All right. So Ashley at _Mrs. Davis asked us, what's the best modern take on a mythological story or figure?
Well, you did go ahead and spoil that for me. That's the whole reason I called in to talk about Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Because I love that movie. And it's a weird thing for me because I generally hate George Clooney. I just can't stand his smug face. But his smug face worked in this because he was a smug asshole for the entire movie, and that was hilarious. Men of Constant Sorrow is a fantastic song. I've listened to that soundtrack at work several times. It's one of my favorite Coen Brothers movies, and I love the fact that they threw in the kind of off Robert Johnson reference. That's a really interesting story in and of itself.
And speaking of sirens,
yeah,
but I love the depiction of the women in the river that go to sleep, my little baby. That was beautiful. And then when they turned him into a frog, oh my god, the movie's so good.
It is. I agree.
John Turturro at his best. And although another Odyssey one that I'm not sure anyone's going to bring up, "No, brother, where art thou?" The Simpsons did the Odyssey. That was
I'm gonna look that up. Cool.
warning him about crossing the river Styx, and it cuts to Homer going across, this satanic-like river, and "Lady" by Styx is playing just as loud as possible. He's rowing along and just goes, "Oh God, this really is hell."
It's funny.
I love The Simpsons. All right, Jusef, wherever he is, he asked us, what mythological creature has been completely misused?
I had an answer for this, and I completely blanked on it. We already brought up dragons. Does Nessie count? Should we say Loch Ness Monster?
That water horse movie, I don't care.
I like the water horse
No.
movie.
You could make a decent movie out of that, but it has been completely underused. Dragons, yeah, I mean, I didn't really like Smog that much, but dragons, except for I enjoyed Reign of Fire, they've been really, really bland in a lot of movies. Sea serpents was brought up. That was another thing. I don't have any new answers here. Is my point here?
That's fine. A lot of new callers feel like they have to like come up with it. It's a lot easier and interesting for me to edit repeat answers. So if you agree with someone, I'm not, or disagree.
It's just more to add on the same subject, and then we can cut together an interesting discussion on it.
So I never feel like, because a lot of people are always like, "Oh, they stole my answer," and I'm like, "Well, no, just it's the same answer."
That's all.
But I will say the one advantage that the dragons from Game of Thrones have is that they have character development, unlike most dragons. Because
they're also beautiful to look at.
But they're also beautiful storytelling devices. That Tyrion speech. So they're good as characters themselves, whereas most like the dragons from the Dungeons and Dragons movie, which was horrible. Or amazing, depending on how you look at it.
There's a D&D movie?
Jeremy Irons. Yeah. Well, technically, there's two. The first one's like Jeremy Irons and Damon Wayne and the chubby kid from Stand By Me. Or maybe it was his brother, not him. O'Connell, whatever his name is. Yeah, and then the second one is a sci-fi one called like Book of Wild Darkness, and that one was, for a sci-fi movie, is pretty good. But yeah, they were just like fodder, and I hate like faceless fodder like Chintari.
Yeah, the Game of Thrones dragons, they not only move the plot forward, because obviously Dany would not stand a chance without her dragons. Everything that she has is because of the dragons, but that they also add a lot of backstory, which is super important, not only for Daenerys and all the other Targaryens, but again for people like Tyrion, who have dreamt of dragons, and he is not the only one. So they add a lot. It wouldn't be the same show.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. They're used well, but.
Yeah,
and if I had seen more than one episode of Game of Thrones, I would have an opinion. So I don't.
Yeah.
You gotta get on that for our Night's Watch recap show.
You don't like titties and dragons?
It is basically just boobs and dragons. I caught that from the first episode.
No, that undersells Martin's writing. He has done some really amazing things.
It's dragons, boobies, and good writing.
And exposition.
Fair enough.
All right, Tom. Well, thanks for coming by. Do you have anything you want to plug, or want to tell people how to get to you?
Well, I think I'm in the description at Road Raider 3. Watch the fan friction episode. That was really fun. Eric and Bill were formidable opponents, and it was a really fun experience. It was kind of fun binging Harrison Ford movies all Saturday to prepare for that mystery round question. I was ready for pretty much anything except for the Tom Clancy movies. So that was a lot of fun. And
super fucked.
Yes, that was Witness. I was mortified when he picked Witness. but halfway through, I decided to myself, I'm not leaving without this point. Worked
No, that
too
was a
hard
really
for
good
that.
fight. They were all good fights. So definitely check that out. And thanks for coming
And
by, Tom.
one more thing to plug.
Okay,
I
go ahead.
plugged it a little bit on fan friction, and I know Tom and Kimber have responded as well. But it's looking like we are going forward with cars and popcorn. We're looking at mid-June. I've got actually my fellow fighter Bill is going to be my first caller, and we're going to discuss the James Bond cars. We haven't decided what segments because it's way too vast for one episode. So we'll see how it works out and move on from there.
Love to, like we were talking to you about on Twitter, to do one about the supernatural car. It's the only car that we have a.
Well, Batmobile too.
Oh, we do have Batmobile. It's all dusty, but it's baby. She's a 67
67
Chevy Impala.
Yeah,
So
I'm thinking about the best way to do this because I do not expect you to watch the whole series. Like I was saying, is I'm gonna figure out. I think we already have the most of them already. The best baby
or even
episodes.
3 would be a lot.
I don't think 3 is gonna hard, but it depends on your schedule. We'll do the top 3 if you can. But it's so good, and like I said, like one of the episodes even talks about like it being manufactured in the plant and stuff, and shows the plant.
The car is literally like
Okay.
the fourth or the third person in their gang. Like it's like a character on the show.
But it doesn't.
So yeah, we'd love to see you there, and maybe one day one of us will even fight you on fan friction.
Oh no! Watch out for Kimber.
I do hope I was good enough for Jack to bring me back. So we'll see.
Yeah, or we could do TJ versus Tom versus me, and it'll be the Battle of the Toms.
That would be
All
pretty
right.
fun.
It'd be very confusing though.
Okay, Tom, go. You guys all just go. See you soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
Okay.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.
Heard from Jusef in
I
the
have
chat.
not.
Next would be Billy.
Something must have come up, which is
Yeah, it's been a
understandable.
crazy night with stuff. We're gonna have Billy in, and then after that, we are going to have.
That's funny you say that, TJ. In my family, I'm Thomas. My dad is Tommy, and my grandpa is Tom. If my great grandfather was still alive, I don't know what we would call him. Maybe Thum. I don't know.
So how many?
I am like the 6th. I'm
6th of his name,
Yeah. Well, we don't have the same middle name.
but still,
Yeah.
there's 6 Tom Bennises.
Or was. Sleepers.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddies. What's up?
I'm working on a bit for the new edit for OSP. To see it
For Wonder Woman.
for Wonder Women.
Wonder Women. Tom is
Wonder
editing
Woman.
the episode that we did honoring the wonderful and amazing women in pop culture. So look for that coming out soon on the Tough channel. Those are our peeps.
We call them our parent channel.
Yes.
But really, our uncle lives there.
Nice.
I'm talking about Brian.
Brian, yeah.
He's our uncle.
He's our tough dad.
He's our tough
He's our
dad.
crazy uncle.
All right. Well, the first question is asked by our good friend Cal. What is your favorite weapon in pop culture based on mythology or religious lore?
Hey, this was very tough because there are many cool weapons in mythology. I was looking at Norse mythology. I found some cool Hindu ones. Of course, Christian mythology actually has some pretty cool just artifacts. But I decided to go with the OG sword, Excalibur, because, I mean, it's an obvious answer, but everyone knows the term Excalibur. You know it. Many people associate with the sword and the stone, an Arthurian legend, and usually it's one and the same, but Excalibur is King Arthur's sword, and yeah, it's badass, and it's imbued with all this magic and stuff, and yeah.
I did want to say I saw somebody talking in the chat a minute ago, and I'm not terribly sure who it was, but they said that Game of Thrones also it's titties and dragons and swords, and I'm gonna tend to agree with that as well. Those swords, I freaking cried because a sword got melted on that show.
Oh, Ice. Yeah,
yes,
I was mad.
And people were like, "How are you crying about a sword?" And I said, "Listen, that sword has more history than pretty much any of the people on the show. Like, it's crazy." And I do foresee that sword possibly being reforged in the next coming season or two. But man, like swords can be powerful in storylines, and Excalibur is certainly like the sword that a lot of those stories are based on.
Think about Lord of the Rings.
Again, another sword that's reforged and hugely affecting the plot line.
And that's why I think Ice.
I wasn't gonna spoil all that.
That's not a spoiler. That's all
you guys
theory.
like crazy Game of Thrones theories, you look out for the Night's Watch coming soon.
And I will have tinfoil hats on deck.
As will I. I have plenty of Game of Thrones theories.
Yeah, well, you're one of the few people who actually called in last season for.
Yeah, I will do so again.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I will say, like we have 3 live shows this week, and the participation has been amazing. So we just want to thank everyone for stopping by who can. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we really look forward to it, and we're doing some shows that we think are really exciting, and we're glad that you guys are excited about them too.
All right. Delisha asked, what mythology would you like to see on TV or the big screen?
Okay, this is very tough because there has been a lot of mythology that has been on TV and big screen. Norse mythology, you have Thor in the Marvel comics. Christianity, I don't even have to say anything. Greek mythology, also I don't have to say anything. But the one that I was thinking of, and I don't think it's really been done justice, is Egyptian mythology. And Egyptian mythology is very, it's very tricky because, well, there's actually a lot more intrigue to it. It's a lot of these mythologies are a lot like Game of Thrones. There's a lot of like brothers that are jealous of other brothers, such as like the god Set, who is the god of the underworld, and I believe it's Osiris, who is the king of the gods, or yeah, he's basically the ruler of them, even though Ra is above him. I know my Egyptian, Tom. I see you nodding your head. And
I was writing Ra down.
Yeah,
like...
no. Ra is the ultimate. He's the ultimate top dog, and then there's Osiris, and then there's his queen Isis, and then Set is the underworld, and then there's a bunch of other people like Thoth or Toth, whatever. And yeah, I just think it would be a really, I don't know how you would do it, but there's just a lot with Egyptian mythology. There's a lot of cool people. Like Anubis is really cool. Like in American gods, Anubis is really cool. Anubis is an amazing god in Egyptian mythology. Just because he likes to, he can be a good or a bad guy depending on how you see it. That's what's so cool. And
we are excited about American gods because we're getting so many different types of gods, old and new, on that show. And again, like a really good modern interpretation of those gods. I think Mr. Wednesday is fantastic. I like that they have the new gods idea with like media and technology boy and all that stuff. That makes a lot of sense to my brain, and I'm a big fan. What else was I going to say?
I don't know.
Did you looked like you had something to add?
I did.
I got
what?
Also a supernatural episode that Tom's a big fan of, called, I believe, Hammer of the Gods, that's kind of reminiscent of American gods and has some cool representation of a bunch of different gods.
Yeah, like Zeus is there and Vishnu is there, I think, and Kali is there.
Kali is definitely there.
But yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's Ganesh, I think.
Or is it Ganesh?
Yeah.
It's I know what episode you're talking about. It's when they're all at that hotel.
Hermes.
Yeah, I was like, this reminds me of that Supernatural episode. Yeah, and
that's why like the trickster is one of my favorite characters in Supernatural, and that just like puts like even more like another nail in his coffin, unfortunately.
Tricksters
But,
are always fun in mythology, and yeah, I love that Loki is played by Crispin Glover. He's pretty cool.
you can think that. That's fine.
Oh, you're not a Crispin Glover fan, I see.
Mm,
No. Yeah, because Mr. Wednesday is spoiler alert for American Gods.
Don't because
Yeah, like just
But-
don't.
Oh, okay, yeah. But well, Ian
to
McShane.
reevaluate that because I read the books.
And well, Mr. Wednesday turns out to be is pretty good. I'll say that much. And yeah, you said the whole old and new gods. I loved that Neil Gaiman predicted how attached to technology we would be. Like, this was written years ago, way before like we had smartphones and all that stuff. So that's amazing. And you're right, all these gods coming together. There was a great conversation in an American Gods episode where no, it's in the book. I don't want to spoil it. Never mind. My mind is kind of like going 100 miles an hour right now, so it's kind of hard to formulate words, but yeah, I'm really into American Gods now, and that's probably
Yeah,
because of your show.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, man. You gonna be there this week? Tomorrow?
Yeah,
Sweet.
I'm off tomorrow, so I will probably just silently listening and I will be in the chat. If I have something to say, then I'll say it. But yeah.
Good. Well, I mean, speaking of that, Ashley asked us what is the best modern take of on a mythological story or figure.
I read about this, and this was the first book series that really delved into mythology for me. Although the first movie with mythology, I'm with Kimber. It was Hercules, the Disney one. And I think I know why I like that movie more than others. It's basically Disney's Superman. When you really think about it, there are a lot of similarities. I'm like, that's just like Superman. You know, he's a god amongst men. He gets raised by Mom and Pa Ken on a farm sort of thing. He talks with Zeus, who's like Jor-El. You know,
technically Superman is DC's Hercules.
Well, yeah, that is true. Because Superman was inspired by like Samson and Hercules and all that sort of stuff. And a lot of comic book characters were influenced by mythology. Like, they fight monsters, you know, like Doomsday. That's out of like Greek mythology and all that stuff. But yeah, best modern take. I really liked the Percy Jackson books. Now, the books delve into the mythology a lot more, and they do a very good job at integrating them into modern day. And they give a good reason as to why us mortals cannot see these outrageous monsters and everything. They really do give a good reason with it. And then I learned so many myths based on it, including like my favorite myth, which is that of Prometheus and the story of, well, it doesn't end well, but, you know, we got fire out of that.
And not only that, Frankenstein's original title was The Modern Prometheus and is a retelling of, that's why he has such an aversion to fire. And it's really cool. For anyone who doesn't know, I do folk songs once in a while, and I do have one about Prometheus that I'll send you because I think you'll like it. But Supernatural did a really good job on a Prometheus episode too, where it was a guy who kept dying and having amnesia of how he died. And then like Candace is here. Sorry.
Hi Candace.
Yeah, that was really cool. I'm sure we can fit Buffy into this somehow.
I'm sure too.
Wizard World Philly. I believe Nicholas Brendan, who is Xander, is coming to Philly.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
I would have to look it up real quick, but there are a lot of people coming to Philly. And you mentioned Psych earlier.
Buffy's gonna be.
And the movie Buffy.
Oh, the movie, but yeah, Kirsty Swanson is coming there. Anya is coming there.
What?
Yeah, Emma Caulfield. Oh wow, yeah, they got quite a bit. And no, the guys from Psych are coming to Chicago, but still, there are a lot of people. Yeah.
I want to ask Xander if his penis has diseases from a Chumash tribe.
Oh yeah, and James Marsters, who's really cool.
Yes.
James Marsters.
All right,
really good.
we gotta speed it up a little bit because I am looking at the time, and unfortunately, we got a bunch of people in here. So
Yeah, no problem. Just.
Well, no, not well. Unfortunately, because I would like to spend time with everybody. So yes,
No,
it is.
but
I'm glad everyone's here.
let's get this done with.
All right. Jusef asks us what mythology creature has been completely misused, Billy.
I was gonna say dragons, but Kimber has won me over with mermaids. I now completely agree. Mermaids have always been misrepresented, except for Pirates 4 and Pirates of the Caribbean 4, where they did, they ate guys and all that stuff, but they were still depicted as beautiful, and yeah, they are more like sirens from Greek mythology than anything really.
Well, that's what's cool about mythology is that like certain ideas kind of get not recycled but interpreted different ways. Like you're talking about Set and Osiris. Set castrates Osiris, who's his father. No, is his brother in that mythology.
Yeah, no, like Kronos castrated. Forget his father's name. What? I forget his father's name, but
yeah, it's Uranus.
Yeah, and I think that's how Uranus. He castrated Uranus.
I'm pretty sure that's right.
I'm pretty sure that's impossible to do, but okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all.
You haven't seen Tom's anus.
Ah! That's all for. Thanks for calling in, Billy. Do you have anything you want to plug?
Well, I did Cory's podcast. I'm pretty and that's in iTunes. I am going to be doing a guest spot on Deez's podcast on Deez's Take the Reel. It's going to be coming real soon, and yeah, I'm a frequent guest on many podcasts. I was on Nolan's Movies and Me. I was the first episode. I'm planning on going back, and yeah, you can always find me in the odd shaped world because I always write for you guys, and I am. My next article, I'm going to write Dragon Ball Evolution. I just got to find a copy of it. I'm going to go through it. It's going to suck, but I'm going to do it.
Good.
Yeah. Anyway, have a good night, guys.
Have a good night, Billy. All right. Up next, we have. Oh, no, I lost
It's
the list.
Ashley and Joe.
It's Ashley and Joe. Am I calling
Come back.
All right. So I'm calling Joe.
She's fighting. Oh,
I don't think.
why is she showing off for the camera? She's usually not attacking.
What are you doing?
Pineappling. Oh, she's stuck with it. Okay. I will also be guesting, fact checking for the guys over at the Tech Podcast. So look out for that.
Yes, and the link for that is in the.
Hello.
Hi guys.
How
Hello.
goes?
Oh, it's Mavis.
So now seems like a good time to announce that the next Odd Shape panel is going to be when Ashley and Joe are in town. So we are going to all co-host together and do a BFF-inspired episode all about buddies, best friends in pop culture. So if you guys have any awesome questions for us, let us know. And that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Best song about best friends.
You're My Best Friend by Queen.
I knew it.
I sing it to Candace.
All right. How's everything going in BFF world?
It's going.
It's going. We just uploaded a new episode yesterday. We're kind of catching up from being behind over Batman, The Dark Knight Returns.
Yep.
So check that out if you've seen that movie.
Yep, and the link for that is in the description because I am on top of it. So we're going to start it off with Cal's question, and he asked us, and I'm sure I'm going to get a gaming answer from
Oh wait.
Quick question. Do we need to mic up? Are you getting any feedback or anything?
No, you're fine.
Okay, cool.
We'll wait for Tibbet to get in. But
Tiblet.
I call it Tibbet.
She's around here somewhere.
I'm sure she'll realize that we're talking to y'all and she will want to see Mavis, I'm sure.
But what is your favorite weapon?
My favorite weapon? I have a few, but I'm going to go with one that I know probably won't get recognized. It is Norse in nature, but it is not Mjolnir. It's Gungnir, Odin's spear. It is a masterful, powerful weapon. It's so underutilized that there's only like 3 times I can think of that I've seen it utilized in games, and it's in Final Fantasy VII, of course, because Odin is a summonable entity. But also, it is a weapon you can acquire in the video game Valkyrie Profile, where you play Lenneth the Valkyrie, and you at some point get Gungnir. You steal it from Odin because it's Japanese take on Norse mythology, so Odin's kind of a jerk.
I was just saying to Tom, I think it's cool that you picked something from a video game. That's totally a part of pop culture, and there's lots of cool mythological stuff in video games.
I picked Mario.
That's true. That's true. But his is like not just an
I know. It's
interpretation.
specific.
It's
I
like
knew
straight up.
I tagged gaming in down there because I knew Joe was going to pick gaming because he has good knowledge of it.
I'm going to see if I can pull entirely from gaming.
Did you have one off of gaming that you wanted to mention, or?
No, we're good. Because
Okay.
the others have been mentioned, so.
Nice.
Maybe.
I was going to say the Trojan horse, but the only thing I could think of is the actual Odyssey, which they did make a movie of, so it was a TV movie. I just think that's like a cool idea for, like, let's trick our enemy. Like, oh, here's a wonderful gift. You guys are into horses. We made you a giant horse. And then, they're all hiding within it. And then when everybody's asleep after the revelry, they, raise the city to the ground, literally.
I mean, it's such a popular concept that it's what we call some viruses nowadays.
Exactly. So.
Yeah, there's some interesting answers. This and the Ark of the Covenant, I was not expecting.
I thought about doing the Ark of the Covenant.
Really? Because I never
actually.
thought of it as a weapon, but it could totally be weaponized, which is scary.
And it was face melter.
Another cool one
but yeah.
is actually is in the Percy Jackson. The first one is when they slay Medusa and they use her head as a weapon, because that is in the actual Greek myth as well. And they kind of do it comedically in that one, where it's like, oh yeah, like we accidentally like forgot to hide her head, and now the maid is gonna call the cops on us.
You reference Percy Jackson when Clash of the Titans is a better reference for that.
I've never seen Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans, that scene was actually done really well, I thought, where like you never saw her directly until it was the reflection. Like I thought it was.
Yep.
I actually think Medusa is like a terribly sad character.
Yeah.
Like if you guys don't know like Medusa's background and how she ended up like that, it's like the saddest backstory of all time. So definitely look that up. I also gotta appreciate really quick in the chat that you guys are getting some love. Candace is like, that was my answer. So you and Candace are on the same page, Ashley. And we have Mac just showing love for Joe being an awesome person.
Oh, thank you, Mac.
But yeah, going back to the whole, Medusa, we watched the documentary about the legend of Medusa. We have a series that we do this time of year where it's from the History Channel called Clash of the Gods. And I want to say it's readily available online if you look at, places.
Probably YouTube.
Yes, and we watched the 2 about Odysseus and the Tales of the Odyssey, but we also watched the Medusa one just because like it's Greek related, and they have all sorts of other ones. They have Thor, they have one about things from Lord of the Rings. It's a really good series from the History Channel. So
Yeah, we watched the same one. How funny is the reenactment of the Cyclops? No, my name is Noah, and then like the bad like prosthetic on his face.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's people know what we're talking about with Medusa. She was super beautiful, but she dedicated herself to Athena, like because back then, like if you wanted to worship somebody, you would just stay a virgin at the temple. It's fine.
Yeah.
But everybody wanted her. She was like, "No, I'm good." And guys took advantage of her in a temple, and Athena like thought of it as a spite to her.
Yeah, cursed her.
Like, and didn't do anything.
And I don't
to
think it
the
was
dudes.
guys. It was God, wasn't it?
Yeah, was it? It's usually Zeus that does these kind of things, but
Yeah, it wasn't
I
him.
can't
but I
remember
wanna say-
exactly who it was.
Athena. It was the
No, but she was saying who assaulted her was
Yeah.
one of the
oh, was it?
I think it's a God.
I don't remember. My answer key is at school, so I can't check it because we did ask questions. Like it's a video guide, so
It's like the ultimate example of victim blaming.
yeah. And you have to remember the culture at the time. Women didn't have any rights. We wouldn't get rights till later, and so a lot of victim blaming, a lot of antiquated ideas for like what it would be different now, hopefully.
for sure. But yeah, she got a raw deal, man. And then like the way she's remembered, and she's a monster and all this, like horrible.
And what did she get her head cut off?
Right.
I mean, it is to save a city.
Go ahead.
It is to save a city that she got her head cut off. I mean, it's not right.
Delisha asked, what mythology would you like to be explored on the big screen?
I'm actually, and it's kind of odd, a big fan of some of the Japanese mythology. It's already been explored in a video game, but in Persona 4, in a lot of the Persona games, the main characters, their personas are based off of like folklore and mythological heroes. In Persona 4, they were all Japanese gods and folklore legends. And the final boss is, I think it's Izanagi, or there's Izanagi and Izanami. And Izanami, I think, is the one that the final boss of the game is. Well, your main character's primary persona is Izanagi. And they were husband and wife. And at one point she died, but Izanagi went into the underworld to try and save her. And when he found her, she just pleaded with him not to look upon her because she was supposedly hideous or something. I don't remember the full legend. But he agreed, and he was taking her out of the underworld, and at the last minute he turned around and looked, and apparently she was hideous. But it's the underworld, so I imagine everybody's hideous down there. And because of that, it cursed mankind for generations, and they play through that in the concepts in the actual video game. So
was there a Susanoo?
yes, what's her name? One of the other Persona users has Susanoo. And Jiraiya is one, and Take Migazachi is another, and
No, that's weird because
Kurama.
now Susanoo's sister is Amaterasu, but Amaterasu is like a Capcom character, so can they use that name?
Well, Amaterasu is a folklore character. That's
Yeah,
like,
so they can, right?
yeah. I mean, it would be just like 3 different companies making Norse mythology characters.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's why I say things out loud in front of you, Joe.
That's right.
Well, Ashley should know this question. She asked, "What is the best modern
didn't.
take on a myth?"
Ashley
Oh, I'm
didn't
sorry,
answer.
I didn't ask. I'm getting at it.
Tiblet got in the way and was, stealing the show. Because
Summon.
I know it was brought up earlier, the fact that, like Greek mythology has been done a lot. I feel like we're getting some more Norse mythology, with like Thor and some other things. But I'd like to go back into the earlier period of English literature with those legends. And like, we don't really have a good Beowulf adaptation. I don't count the CGI one. And that's like a really cool myth that has dragons and monsters and important piece of early British literature. And so maybe some more that, and then along centuries later, maybe some better Arthurian myth telling, because we don't maybe Sword in the Stone might be the best retelling that we have of that legend theatrically released.
Probably.
I haven't seen the new King Arthur, but the marketing has not sold me on its ideas.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on that Beowulf for sure. Like, I would definitely be down for that. That's a great story. The first time I saw Beowulf performed, I was at a Renaissance festival with my dad, and we saw two guys acted out in a pit of mud. It was the mud show, and that
Nice.
was much better than the movie that they put out. So
I know there's another live action version with Christopher Lambert in it, but I don't know anything about it. What?
She has opinions.
yeah, I would be down for them to do like a good job though, and I have no hopes for that Guy Ritchie King Arthur movie being good. I hate the trailers. I do not dig the vibe they're going for. And I'm with you guys. Like, I don't know why they can't get those stories right, you know?
Yeah, the marketing for that feels very like dude bro, like, yeah, we're so awesome, look at us. And,
Parkour.
Sure.
and I'd rather just see something that's more traditional.
Agreed. So the next question, as Tom said, came from Ashley. And she asked, what is the best modern take on a mythological story or figure?
Y'all brought up this answer earlier, but I'm just gonna give some more love to "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" That's the one that I thought of when I posed the question to you guys. That is such a great retelling of the Odyssey, and then the fact that they named the character Ulysses, which is the translation of the name Odysseus, and he just has all of the bravado and. Like, he really fits the character very well, because Odysseus in the legend from Homer is very boastful, because that was the type of hero that even though he was kind of more of a modern hero, it was very much in the culture to be you want to have the bragging rights for what you do. So when Odysseus faces the Cyclops, he has to let him know, oh, by the way, you thought my name was nobody. My name is really Odysseus, and that's who bested you. When someone asks, that's the name you need to give, and nearly gets his whole crew killed because of that. And you can see a lot of that paralleled in the story with the way Ulysses Everett McGill acts in the story. And then it really does parallel the plot very well. We see there's Cyclops with sirens, and I love the time period that they chose to portray it in the 1930s, the Depression. I thought that was a really good setting, and one that you don't see too much in a lot of movies. Usually if they go older, it's really old, or you see a lot of World War II movies, but this is definitely in the period before that.
Yeah, they usually, when they choose that period, any sort of period like that, it's when they're telling a particular story about something that happened, and they just don't use it as a backdrop.
Or the Time Machine. That's the only one else I can think of. I don't know if that is the 30s, or that might be even earlier.
Well, even if it is, I think it's England.
I thought it was more Victorian, but I could be wrong. It's been so long since I've seen
and every adaptation could modify it too.
It's true.
Yeah, I was just thinking when you were describing how Odysseus was boastful and stuff. Again, back to Game of Thrones, they had a touch of that with Oberyn Martell's storyline. He's taken down this big monster and he's all boastful, but I loved how it came back to kind of bite him.
Yeah, totally.
For sure.
Like a snake.
If I have an excuse to bring up Oberyn Martell, I'm going to, because he's one of my favorite characters. Yeah.
For me,
Joe?
I have two. One of them in general is everything they utilize in the Shin Megami Tensei video games, because they all over the place use mythology. Thor is a quote unquote demon, but they use demon as a concept for magical creature of any sort. Is a demon you can recruit in your party in all the games. Dionysus is another character you can have access to, and all sorts of stuff like that. That was more of a shout out. The big one, and it's one that doesn't get a lot of love, and it's another video game, is called Too Human, where it's a post-apocalyptic cyberpunk Ragnarok, basically. It's the gods are these incredibly enhanced individuals that have so much cybernetics in them, they're barely human. And it's the story of Ragnarok told in this dystopian sci-fi far future video game. The game was terrible.
No, go ahead.
The game itself was terrible, but the story was actually pretty decent. And the depressing part is because the game was so terrible, it's not getting the 2 sequels that it was slated to get. So,
Kimber was just whispering in my ear. You mentioned like a retelling of Ragnarok. A lot of people think Game of Thrones is a retelling of Ragnarok. The Wall being the Bifrost, Watchers on the Wall having the role of Heimdall. Well, Braun is supposed to be Fenrir. Bren is supposed to be Fenrir, who bites off the hand of Tyr.
Yep. That totally makes sense.
So there's a lot of cool.
And even if it's not a retelling, it definitely draws heavily from elements of Norse mythology.
Celtic too. Like if you haven't read the books, cover your ears for 20 seconds. When Stoneheart comes up, that just encompasses like that is like the Morgan and stuff like that. So Lady Stark has at once been the maiden, the crone, and the mother, which coincidentally are 3 of the 7 old gods.
Yeah, and also he pulled a lot from history as well. War of the Roses.
Or not old gods, or the new gods. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the 7.
Yeah. Jusef asked, "What mythological creature has been completely misused?"
That's a tough one. I like what Kimber had to say about mermaids earlier. You kind of see mean mermaids in that Peter Pan movie from the 1950s where they're like, we're only going to drown her. But they're not like as vicious as...
They're not monsters. They're just snotty.
They're evil Ariels.
And shout out to Peter Pan for also having a homicidal pixie. Like Tinkerbell definitely was trying to murder Wendy. She's
at the very least like a sociopath, because she's just kind of like, I don't care what happens to her. This is a really tough one. I'm gonna go Norse with this one and go Jormungandr, the World Serpent, because more often than not, when Jormungandr is used, Jormungandr is nothing but a harbinger of destruction. But Jormungandr is also like the roots of the world tree, and it's like an entity that winds throughout all of reality. And like I said, every time it's used in any sort of pop culture, it's nothing but a destroyer, and that's really upsetting. It's not the same, but it's very similar to how Medusa is always a monster, but her story is incredibly tragic. Like Jormungandr is a very important entity in Norse mythology, but Jormungandr is usually utilized by nothing more than a mindless destroying machine.
You know what I'm going to say. Jormungandr is Daenerys Targaryen, by the way, in the connection to Ragnarok. She's going to be a destroyer of things, I assure you.
And had a pretty shitty backstory.
Of course, yeah.
But the 2 big examples I can think of that are actually Jormungandr in that video game, I had 2 human. There is a computer virus infecting the World Tree computer network known as Jormungandr, and that's it. That's the only time they utilize it, and it's really upsetting. And then in the video game series called the Banner Saga, the world is literally falling apart. Like when the game starts, the sun has stopped moving in the sky, and it's been perpetual sunlight for days. I guess days is an accurate way to put it. But at some point, this serpent starts showing up, and it's big enough to, as it goes throughout the world, it's splitting mountains in half. And they haven't quite solved the mystery of what the serpent is, but it's tied to prophecy, and it's supposed to eat the world and things like that. So it's pretty much Jordan.
And another argument for Daenerys, because you're saying, is tangled throughout reality and time and space. Daenerys has visions throughout time and space, even though she's not a green seer.
Well, and if her blood is intrinsically tied to dragons, they are entities that are supposed to be without end, which means that she has the blood of an entity without end. So
that'd be the blood of the dragon for sure. That family obviously, like, historically,
which is almost at an end.
Yeah, right.
Family's almost like,
she's like the last
of the Mohegans.
I can't say that though.
No. But
we do have 2. They could continue the line, but
and then they can get an arc, and they can put 2 dragons on it. And
did Ashley say her answer for that one?
Yep.
I mean, I really can't think of anything other than like I liked what you said about the mermaids. My mind is literally drawing a blank on like
No
all
unicorn?
of.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I
was gonna
mean,
say maybe not misused but underutilized unicorns.
because they don't like talk about like in the last unicorn they do kind of emphasize the fact that unicorns only come to those who are pure, and I don't think that's probably emphasized in a lot of popular culture because unicorns are so pretty, so they'll just like show up to anybody.
Legend.
Maybe that's why we don't see them anymore. It's because no one's pure enough.
Exactly, we're all just too corrupt.
And as we get older, we forget about them.
Not I.
Yeah, because Molly Grew makes like a point when she sees the unicorn, like, why did you not come to me when I was young and a maiden? Like, you shouldn't see me now. And
Yeah.
that I just love that movie.
And Kimber,
Wait, what?
Kimber had mentioned Kieran's, that she loved those a whole bunch. And I put it in the chat, but I don't know if you happen to see it. Kieran, they have a Kieran as one of the summons in Final Fantasy VI, and
That's cool.
it teaches like life and healing magic to anyone that utilizes it.
Yeah, they're really cool. Google it, you guys. Kieran's, they're awesome.
Where's your
Yep.
painting?
Yeah, I don't have it here. I have a painting of a Kieran I did somewhere.
Is it shop?
I think that was all the questions.
That's all of them.
Once again, look out for us in 2 weeks. We won't be doing the usual Q&A because Ashley and Joe are going to be here. We want to take advantage of that and do a super show with all 4 of us. It should be a blast. If you have any questions about best friends in pop culture, please tweet at me at kimberbatch_OSP.
We're at OSP Panel, and you could use the hashtag ToughOSP. That'll help us narrow things down. We're also going to be making some other content during that time, so people look out for that.
Philly should be crazy with content. I'm sure everybody's going to have cameras and be
Lousy.
doing special Philly editions of the shows.
Yeah.
This BFF, it's down in the chat along with Joe and Ashley's Twitter handles.
And of course, if you're going to be at Wizard World Philly, please hit us up. All the showrunners from Tough are going to be there, along with a lot of familiar faces. Oh.
They said Vermilion faces.
Yeah,
like, Pokemon?
Vermilion City?
I was doing so well, too.
You're doing good. Oh, man. Matt brings up a good point. They killed all the unicorns for that Starbucks shake.
I was thinking Harry Potter, the unicorn blood was like a plot line, but they definitely were not.
When y'all were talking unicorns, my mind immediately went to Legend. That's why they don't even show up the pure people anymore, because now corrupt people use the pure people as a trap to capture a unicorn.
Oh, that makes sense. All right.
It's your shirt.
It's my shirt. It's a pegacorn, I guess. It's got wings.
Alicorn? No. There's a name for it. I don't know.
All right, guys. We'll see you soon.
Alrighty.
Very soon, actually.
Very
person, excited.
I'm excited too. Who's next?
And because we kind of forgot to have them double plug their show, everybody check out BFF. We have the link for the latest stuff. I know they said it the one time.
I said it literally 10 seconds ago.
Okay, well, again, because it's Ashley and Joe and they're that VIP status.
They deserve it.
Check out BFF. It's Mac's turn if he wants to call in. And if Jusef pops up in the chat at any point, we will let him in, but I have not seen him. After Mac, we're going to have TJ if he wants to come in. Then Matt if he wants to come in. Eric A if he wants to come in. Raul, Candace. What was that?
What's one?
Oh, never mind. The bottom of the chat.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were. No, we're not doing phrasing anymore. Sam, didn't you get the memo? Mac, I think I might need your email again.
Tried to get you to request Gandalf the Grey.
I don't know why it doesn't say well.
For the BFF episode, we got to get Morgan in here talking about Simon Pegg and Nick Frost in any movie together. Yeah, no problem. if you don't want to call in, just do what Eric did in the chat and let me know so I can take you off the list. You, TJ, let me know what you're doing. I think Tom's just trying to hunt out the email address for the next caller.
I'm hunting the email. Hunting the email. Oh, that's why, because there's a 19. There's a 19 on the actual thing. Then his.
Cory, I thought you said you weren't calling in. That's why I didn't call
Yeah.
you. Well, he says I thought I was next.
That's, I'm agreeing with you. That's bucks. Oh my god, computer. Guys, I can't wait till I get a new computer. We're slowly getting there, though.
Someone's
No.
calling us. He's trying to call in.
We're doing it wrong. I'll call you on the show. Give me 1 second.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. It happens all the time. Guys, he's on his way. There we go. Keyboard froze for a second there. Why? Why are you doing this to me?
Why are you doing this to me?
What are you? That's a new thing.
Get out of here.
Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. This is getting annoying.
Here, look.
Yeah, no, I have it. It just keeps backtracking every time. There it goes. Okay.
Live shows.
Yeah,
this.
thanks for sticking with us. We lost a viewer during that, but that's fine.
It is getting later. That happens.
No, I know. I'm just picking on everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Yeah, Tom, this is every week for the live shows. It's just there's always little things with the technical difficulties.
Yeah, especially Google Hangouts. Half the time, it just doesn't want to work. Well, hello, Mac.
What's up? How's it going?
It's going great.
All right, cool. Glad everybody having fun.
Is there? Can you hold your phone sideways only because these are the edited episodes and it's just a lot easier.
Is that better?
It's only your mouth. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
For Twin Peaks and American Odds, it doesn't matter though because I don't edit those.
All right. I got you. All right. Let me turn this down.
Let's get at it. Do you have a favorite weapon in pop culture based on mythology or religious lore?
Okay. Like I said, I love what Joe did because, like I said, I love what Joe did. He loves video games, and like I said, I love video games. And Cory said, "Oh, they're gonna laugh you off the show if you pick this," and I was like, "No, I gotta go with my heart." I'm picking. I was originally gonna go with the Star Droids from Mega Man, but that don't make sense from mythology. So I'm gonna go with the Master Sword from Legend of Zelda. It has a mythical reasoning because it has a it's from within the religion. There's a goddess that created the sword, and thus it does have its own religion. Some people do crazy things. Some people do worship that type of thing, but it is based on the religion. So I gotta go with the Master Sword. I like it.
Yeah, for sure. And it not only that, it has like ties to Arthurian tale. Like the whole, like you could almost argue that goddess is like a mirror of the Lady of the Lake, and like he literally pulls it from a rock.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's a good pick. I almost picked that too.
Yeah. I was like, I really want to pick this because I was like, I could go with my original answer, but I was sitting there thinking like, I'm a gamer. I gotta pick. If I don't pick the Master Sword, I will be betraying myself. So I gotta pick that. So I gotta pick the Master Sword. So I just love it.
Joe calls that voting your heart. I remember.
Thanks, John. Oh goodness.
All right. Well, our friend Alicia asks us, what mythology or religious lore would you like to see explored on the big screen or TV?
Okay. I know this has been done to death, but I feel like I want them to see more Greek mythology because I think there's more stuff that they have not done. I know they're saying, "Oh, it's been done to death." I mean, I want to see, I want to see more a story of Achilles, another story, a better story of Achilles. Even though I like Troy, which is going to come back in a sooner answer, but I do like some of the Greek mythology. I want to. I never seen a story about the big three, the big six, all of them together. I never seen any of the individual stories. I mean, we seen Poseidon, we seen a story about Poseidon, we seen a story about Zeus. I want to know, I want to see more of a story about Hades. I really want, and this is just my pitch because I love the pitch. I want to see the cartoon Hades background, and it has to be voiced. It really has to be voiced by James Woods. James Woods got to come back and do Hades, but that's what I want to see. I really want to see Hades doing his just getting mad and just doing his spasm. So yeah, I want to see more Greek mythology.
Yeah, Hades was I think one of the best villains in a Disney movie, especially that like the new Renaissance kind of era.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were just talking about. But Kimber, we were talking about this beforehand, and the Hades Persephone plotline would be really interesting as a
I
film.
would really love to see that too. I really want to see this, like how Persephone came in. Like I said, there's so much that they have not. They've done some things, but they had not touched on a lot more of Greek mythology. I think they hadn't done it enough. So that's just my perception.
Yeah, at least do some new stories that we're not familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Ashley asked us, what is the best modern take on a mythology story or figure?
Now, modern, like in today's time, like does it? I just want to stretch the question, like it doesn't matter, like it.
I mean, comparably, anything that has been made in like the last 30 years or so on is modern compared to like how old these myths are. So,
Okay, I gotta go. With. I'm chosen between two, but I gotta go with the one I just like the most. I gotta go with Troy. I love Troy because the tale of how this warrior can go on. I like the way it went because when I was in class, I learned that Achilles was a person that if you hit him on the Achilles, he's gonna die. Where it was like not, it took it in another direction. It was more like, okay, this is real life. It's like he's not this warrior that just shot with arrows. Like he's actual human being. And I love the structure in it. And I like the ending. Well, spoiler alert, where he actually get killed with an Achilles, with an arrow to the Achilles. I just like that ending. And it's like balancing Greek mythology in real life. And I just like that. So it's just my portrayal. I liked it.
yeah, and I really like how it's cool. The reasoning behind that is because he was dipped into like a protective pool so that he could never be harmed.
Right.
Where
Everything.
the god held them was the Achilles heel.
Mm-hmm.
And so that part was covered. I thought that was really cool.
That was I like that story because I remember I heard that story in class. I was like, really? I said, yeah. You ever heard the story? It's like he dipped his whole child into a protective pool on everything but his Achilles. I was like, oh wow, that's cool. But
I wish they focused a little bit more on Ajax though, which he's not only a super powerful cleaning agent, but he's like a super soldier in that story. And like again, they did make it a little bit more like believable. They were more like a little bit more mortal in Troy, but it would have been kind of cool to see like that fight against like somebody a little bit more beast.
I also was going to say Hercules, the one with the rock. I like that a little bit. I kind of liked it, but like I said, it was like You haven't seen it?
Yeah, I haven't watched it, and the only reason was it was like 2 Hercules movies came out at the same time, and I don't go to the movies enough as is. But that I forgot it came out, so I would love to see a re-insurgence, because I heard back for Conan, but they canceled that.
Oh,
But if they ever
man.
did a new Conan and Arnold wasn't involved, like The Rock all day.
Right. I love to see the Rock in anything makes anything better. So
Except the Mummy, but that's not his fault.
yeah, and Doom, but I kind of dig Doom. But
I love Doom too.
yeah.
Last question. Jusef asked, what mythological creature has been completely misused?
That's a good one. I want to say the Cerberus. The Cerberus is
Cool.
the Cerberus. It's just been done as they've been trying to do it, but I understand that if you cut the head off, it grows another. Hercules did it, but that's animation, and then I think they tried to do it in Percy Jackson.
That's the Hydra that you cut his head off.
Dang
Cerberus
it.
is the,
I apologize. I got messed up. I like it. But there's certain things I was like, okay, you cut the head off, there's another one. But I like how they did it, but there's certain iterations. Like I was like, okay, that's cool, but let's see it in live action. And then they tried to do it again, and it didn't work. So I was a little upset with that. I wanted to see a live action done right, and they just hadn't done it right since.
Fluffy
It
and
seemed
Harry
like
Potter's
animation.
pretty good.
for Cerberus.
Yeah.
Fluffy. You want to hear something funny?
hmm
Cerberus literally translates to spotted in Greek or Latin, which means that Hades had a dog named Spot.
That is pretty funny. Yeah, they had a dog named Spot. Wow. So I didn't know Heidi just loved naming his pets like that. Yeah, it's so funny. Oh God.
Cool. Did you want to plug anything real quick?
Yeah, tech podcast. We'll have you, Kimber, as a guest fact checker. Tom, we'll have you on. You'll be talking about Big O,
Yeah,
I
for
suppose.
sure.
Also, I'm also doing my show. I'm doing not only tech podcast, but I'm doing my show, The Game Fixers. Go subscribe. Right now, I'm in my rest stage where I'm not doing too much this month because this is like my stage where I'm just like, okay, I need to spend time with my family. So this is spend time with my family month. So so all you're gonna see is just me doing movie reviews. Just this week I did I reviewed Jason Bourne, and then I reviewed, which is a terrible movie, and I reviewed Guardians of the Galaxy, and then next week I'm gonna be doing Baby's Kids and Mortal Kombat.
Nice. The link for the Guardians of the Galaxy is down in the descript. So scroll down and go from there.
And you can also check out Mac. He's a regular on our American Gods recap show, American Odds. So hopefully we'll be seeing
you
again.
You will see me tomorrow. I kind of like to talk about that episode, kind of.
Yeah, me too. We'll get there. We'll get there together. All right,
Mac. We'll see you soon. We'll see you tomorrow.
Right. See you tomorrow,
buddy.
All right.
We're gonna have his partner in crime, Cory, coming in next. And after Cory, if TJ is around, let me know. TJ, then we will have Matt if he's still around, and then Raul if he's still around. So bear with us, guys. Thank you so much for being patient, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say.
And thank you everyone who's watching. We know it's late, or maybe it's not, depending on where you are, but still, it is a long show, and we appreciate you sticking through and hearing everybody out.
Yeah. And I hope Raul is here because we are going to go in on Supernatural. I have a feeling. See Matt? Matt's still here?
Cory should have an invite in his mailbox whenever he gets a chance.
Oh, Sam, too. Sam wants to call in later.
So
It's 1 in the afternoon for Sam. So, oh, Raul's here. Good. Thank you for confirming, guys.
it's 1 in the afternoon. Sam is our favorite loon. He lives in Australia, and soon I'll fight on fiction, probably against
Okay,
me,
so-
and I'll lose.
No Sam tonight. Cory, let us know if you got that invite.
That's a good pull, Joe. The Shadowrun Dragons. I like that.
All right, Eric. Good night, and we will see you tomorrow.
He's great. Another patron, right?
Is Eric?
I don't know. Even if he isn't, I feel like he
He's
is.
the patron of your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, super nice guy.
Dunkel Zan ran for president in 2066.
Eric, if you're still here, I did watch Leftovers. If you want to message me about that.
Ba-da-ba. Someone else was talking about Leftovers before too. All right, Tom.
Thanks for coming by.
We'll see you soon.
Do you want to maybe send him another one?
Yeah, I'll send Cory another invite. No problem. Oh, there he is.
There's always a little delay, but it's trying.
Hello.
Oh,
I'm working on my video.
we can't wait to see you.
Come on. Here we go.
This is my favorite part of live shows.
Just wait.
Oh my God, doppelganger! What's going on, buddy?
It's red shirt day.
How's it
Red
going?
shirt, black glasses day. Beard.
First of all, I'd like to say I never told Mac that I would laugh that you guys would laugh him off the show. He exaggerates.
Well,
Never. We like
sure.
Mac.
Now that we didn't laugh him off the show, you say that.
I was gonna say that anyway.
All right. Well, first off, we got Cal asking, "What is your favorite weapon in pop culture based on mythology or religious lore?"
Well, I gotta go with the pack this time and point out that my first answer was Excalibur, because there's so many things that come out of that, and I saw the movie Excalibur really young, which I probably wasn't a good thing, but because it's very R-rated, that movie. But at the same point, I do want to put in an honorable mention for lightning bolts. I want to throw lightning bolts. I always thought that was really damn cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I like that a term for lightning is veins of Zeus.
Yes.
Like, I love that term. And I agree. Throwing lightning bolts would be manipulating electricity in any way would be really cool. All right. Number 2, we got Delisha, and she asked us, what mythology would you like to see explored more on the big screen or TV?
Okay. I want to see a Hercules movie where Hercules is actually like he was in mythology. Because they make him, like, this is a guy, they always make him really upbeat and, like, he's really positive. Hercules was a self-loathing alcoholic who never got anything done. I mean, he ran off. He was on the quest for the Golden Fleece and ran away because he saw something cute in the woods. He's like, oh, screw it, I'm off. That it always annoys me. Like when I see the Disney Hercules, he annoys me because he's up and he's happy and he's singing. It's like, no. This is a guy who strangled his own twin brother in the womb. This is how he started. So I want to see that movie. I want to see like the Francis Ford Coppola version of Hercules. Or Quentin Tarantino, better.
I love it. Wow,
Yeah.
you're losing me.
Yeah.
But I mean, just you get the idea, though.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I.
David Lynch's Hercules.
Oh my god.
David Lynch would be awesome because I've been
The gold
binging
fleece.
Twin Peaks, trying to catch up, and I have not been doing well.
We found this really cool video online, and it's just the main plot, but it's seasons 1, 2, and Firewalk with Me, the main plot points in an hour.
I tweeted it to Eric yesterday, to Eric Monroe, so you would probably be able to find it on his page or my page if you're interested. It's just like the major.
I am very interested because I'm like I do want to watch Twin Peaks. I've always wanted to, and this just gives me the excuse. But it is kicking my ass a little bit. Just the amount of episodes.
There is a lot to get through.
But yeah, I recommended to Eric to watch the 1 hour video and then to watch our recap because we go pretty deep talking about that show.
I was there for a couple minutes.
A good feel for it. That's a nice combo. Yeah. I didn't know if you stayed for the whole thing.
He didn't
stuff.
because
I did not. Only a couple minutes.
All right.
I came for the bean board.
Oh yeah, Ashley asked, what is the best modern take on a mythological story or figure?
Well, I'll tell you. I gotta go. There was this movie that my stepdaughter brought home once, and it stayed. She says, "Oh, this is a really cool movie," and I said, "Oh, that sounds like a really great concept." Put it away and did not watch it for 3 years. And then when I did watch it, I was really sad I didn't watch it for 3 years. And that's Sita Sings the Blues. Love that movie. Do you know the one?
No, I've never heard of it.
It was one of the first movies to ever be like done on like YouTube. That's where it came from. And it's Nina Paley, and she does this retelling of the story of the Ramayana with Sita as a blues singer, kind of. And it has 3 basic threads. There's the musical thread. There's this thread that's now about a girl whose boyfriend is like leaving her. And there's another one with this group of Indian, like older Indian traditional people telling the story of the Ramayana. And it is if you get bored, just wait a minute because something's going to happen that'll interest you. And it's pretty and it's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Or if you get bored, play Mario because it's the same story.
No. I deny that, sir.
I deny that, sir.
I have facts. All right. Well, Jusef asked us, what mythological creature has been completely misused?
Elves. Elves have been turned into a noble race that somehow, I don't know, is dying and wants to save the world. I don't know. But if you go back and you look at elves, they are not that. If you ever read the poem "The Earl King," the elves they live in the Black Forest and they take children and molest them and kill them, and they just disappear. And elves are bastards. Terry Pratchett even did an essay called "Elves Are Bastards." That's why I love it.
I think Fae are very interesting, and elves are a subset of that, just like will-o-wisps and a bunch of brownies and stuff like that. Which brownies are closer to what the house elves from Harry Potter are, except they're more trickstery.
There's brownies in Willow.
Beer.
You don't remember them?
Because brownies. I was asking if they were tasty.
No, you know what I meant. The CG is awful and did not hold up, but there are brownies in Willow, and
that wasn't CG, man. That was practical. No CG in Willow.
Yeah.
Some of my favorites are the changelings who will go and swap out one of their babies for a human baby, so that it's like a, what bird is it that will lay its eggs in another's nest?
The cuckoo.
Yeah,
they
it's
did
kind of
that
like that.
on what, Supernatural?
No, they did that on that weird ass Christmas movie I really liked on Netflix.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It was American Horror Story or American Christmas or Christmas Horror Story.
Or something.
It was something weird like that. But I really liked. It was like a 4-part anthology, and one of the parts was about a changeling. It was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all right. Well, that's all for. Why don't you plug your podcast for everybody?
Okay, I will. First, I want to say that my heart goes out to the people in Manchester right now, because that's really fun what's going on there. And I have friends in. Yeah, I have friends in England, and I'm trying to get a hold of them. You know. And
Morgan is in Manchester.
huh?
Morgan is in Manchester. He's all right, but
Oh, you got.
still, like,
I didn't even know he was in Manchester. Oh, and he's okay. You got word from him? Okay, cool.
yes.
But with that out of the way, I run a show called the Tech Podcast with my partner Mac Poole, who was just on, and this week, well, a couple of weeks from now for you guys, we're gonna be having Kimber on as guest fact checker. As we just kind of cannibalize our own show and attack each other instead of our guests. That's gonna be fun. But she's agreed to be on, and that's gonna be fun. If you want to check us out, we're at Tech Podcast 1 on Twitter, and we're on SoundCloud under Alien Body Parts, because that's the name of my thing. And
there is a link to the SoundCloud in the description.
oh, cool, in the doobly doo. Okay, and if you and I'm at Geometroid on Twitter. If anybody doesn't know that, I think everybody watching this is going to know that. But yeah, and that's it. That's it for me.
All right, well, thanks for coming by, Cory. It's always great to see you.
Yeah,
and
it's great to
we'll
be
see you soon. I'm assuming
I'll see you this weekend for sure.
You will. All right. Go ahead and
All
eject
right.
me, man. I know you like it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Woo!
So next up we are gonna have Matt, our hometown buddy, and then after Matt we're gonna have Raul, and then Mormo. Yeah, it sounds like your parents got out of town in good time, Eric. I'm glad that they are home safe. That is terrible what's going on over there. I love Mormo. He's such a nice guy.
It's the best. Another great patron.
Yep.
We have some cool friends.
We need to do an OSP show soon. If you're a patron and you're in the chat, let us know.
If you're a patron, what do you think about this idea? I think it's a lot easier if we would just get together with one person and gave a person a month, or like Ashley and Joe's case. You know what I mean? Or if you want to pair up with somebody, that's an idea too. But I feel like
just
it'd be easier
scheduling is easier
to get schedules together, and then even just so we don't have like 8 people talking over each other while we're doing Peep Show, because
it's whatever they want, really.
Yeah, so it's up to you guys. But
Hi.
Hey Matt, just to let you know, you are mute. Oh, there you go.
What's going on?
How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good.
How you liking this rock event? More like Fire Slug event.
I went out one night. It was all right. It's always busy.
Yeah, it happens.
I hear you. We know Matt through local Pokemon Go, and he's great.
Team Mystic. What?
All right. Well, our buddy Cal asked, what is your favorite weapon in pop culture based on mythology or pop? Oh my God, I'm done.
Or religious.
I'm gonna go with one that I don't think it's been touched on yet, but I'm gonna go with the voodoo doll.
Oh wow.
Nice.
It's pretty cool, very personable kind of thing. I know we got all our swords and our cool weapons, lightning arrows and things like that, but I was thinking a lot about our pseudo American mythos and cultures.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one of them.
Fun fact, the very first tattoo shop I ever worked at was called The Voodoo Doll. And I was going to say that American Horror Story Season 3, Coven, had a really cool take on voodoo dolls because there was a witch whose like power set was that she was like a human voodoo doll. So if like you attacked her or whatever, she would inflict damage on herself. And when she did whatever she did to herself happened to the person she was targeting. So she would like slit her own throat, and then whoever
Shoot herself in the mouth.
yeah, like it would happen to whoever she was like targeting with it, you know? Like their throat would be slit. So I thought that was a pretty interesting idea, like a human voodoo doll.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was a fan.
My wife's really into the American Horror Story. She's like, you have to watch it sometime. I haven't gotten a chance to sit down and watch it yet.
So good.
I like some seasons better than others. I actually like all the odd numbered seasons. So I like 1, 3,
I wonder
and
why.
5 the best. Yeah, I don't know. Odd, I get it. But 2 and 4, I think, were a little weak. But it's cool because you get a different story every season. So if you don't like that one, you can just go to the next one.
Yeah, I think the next one's going to be a combination of 2.
Yeah. So Delisha asked, what mythology would you like to see explored on the big screen or TV?
Put a lot of thought into that one. I would love to see the Aztec mythology
That's cool.
presented. It's not touched upon at all, I think, in any media aspect. But they have a ton of a pantheon. I mean, they have water, fire, death, sky, night, day, earth, everything.
Their
you could
their
probably
underworld
do-
is really cool too. Like there's like a room of knives and like a room
Yeah.
of bats.
Yeah, I was gonna say nearly everything I know about Aztec mythology is from watching like Ancient Aliens and stuff when they talk about like Quetzalcoatl and stuff like that.
And first extreme sport.
Yeah, right.
Let's roll the heads down the pyramid to see where it goes. But I think they could, seeing the aspects of, colorful half bird people walking around and things like that, would be really cool. And like I said, mythological stuff from, America, our region.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. All right. Well, what do you think is the best modern take on a mythological tale?
Fan theory wise, I don't know if you've ever heard of the correlation between Dante's Inferno and Gilligan's Island.
Yes. How like Mariana's lust and stuff.
Yeah. You have the skipper. He actually represents 2, gluttony and wrath. You have millionaire, Thurston Howell. He's greed. The professor is pride. Ginger is lust. Marianne is envy, and the millionaire's wife is sloth. And of course, you have Gilligan, who's preventing him always from getting off the island, and he's obviously the devil. I mean, I don't know if it's true or not. I think if it is, it would be definitely cool and extremely funny.
Oh yeah, I like that. What was something else recently that mirrored Dante's Inferno that we were talking about? I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I would read a lot of fan theories and stuff.
But yeah, no, that's a good one, and I like originality.
For sure.
Definitely.
So one more for you tonight. Jusef, who I never showed up, but
He's missing.
what mythological creature has been completely misused was his question.
Faye. I think Supernatural, the episode when he's getting beat up by the fairy, I thought, I was like, oh, hey, look, a fairy is actually being represented as something. You don't only have fairies, you have, Dark Fae, you have the whole war that goes on in the Fae realm. You have Queen Mab, you have that whole aspect of it that I don't really think gets touched on. I mean, and with that, you can include all your King Arthur and everything like that into that if you wanted. I think Hellboy touched on it a little bit, but I think it could be something that a light can be shined upon more, and they're not really used to the capacity that they could be used.
Yeah, specifically the troll market, I think, is a very like
Yeah.
even that Trolls thing that Netflix did had like a troll market.
Troll
but
hunters,
that,
yeah.
Troll Hunters. But again, that's Del Toro.
Del Toro obviously has an interest in that type of mythology.
But there's a pen and paper game that I really like playing. It's the White Wolf universe, and it's called Changeling, and they do
Yep.
like courts and stuff associated. Dude, if you ever want to play Changeling, I'm completely down. You know.
I actually know a couple that used to run a Changeling LARP up in Connecticut. They now run a huge LARP network for Dystopia Rising. It's zombies and stuff, but they were introduced into LARPing, I believe, a lot through Changeling.
I think it'd be hilarious if it was just me, you, and Matt as a LARP organization up here, and we just like were sitting into the gazebo.
Well, I mean, not too far from us in Port Jervis, I have a friend who's going to be running Vampire Masquerade live action game at his house, probably.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Interested? Definitely cool. We're a bunch of we have some great storytellers local to us that are really dedicated to stuff like that.
Awesome. That's awesome. I'm excited.
I think that was the last question for him.
White Wolf's my favorite setting. I just like the orb, like the spheres, as opposed to like map. All right. Well, that's everything. Where can the good people find you if they want to talk to you or anything?
I believe I am Tiny MMA at pretty much that. Find me on Facebook, Matt Fiore.
Yeah.
Treasure trove of information, pop culture. Actually,
It's true. It's true. He's an asset to the show. We pay him in Trident layers, and we're behind on payment. All right. Well, that's everything. Thanks for stopping by, Matt. It's always nice to
Have
see
a
you.
good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the recap.
Nice.
Yep,
We're
see you
looking forward
there.
to it.
Great.
Tell your wife to say hello.
Uh,
Will do.
Raul is next if he wants to come in.
Ooh. I would roll my R's, but I can't.
We got the nicest birthday card for Raul. I was so proud of it. I was like my favorite birthday card I ever picked for someone. And some jerk opened it in the mail and it came back to me, return to sender, but completely like I closed my letters with a wax seal. Like somebody ripped it open and looked inside, decided they didn't want it, and sent it back. So I have to give that to him in person very late
And
when I see him.
took our check for $500
No.
that we sent.
Luckily, they did not really damage it or anything, so they didn't even steal the little gift I put in there. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't think they're the reading type.
No.
Or
Spoilers.
Hey, buddy.
Someone stole my check.
I know, man. It's gone.
Damn it.
Excited that Raul is here.
How's it going, buddy?
Fine, and you guys?
Good.
Good.
Are you you're back home, right?
Yeah, I'm ready back in the States.
Nice. And soon
Time
you'll
to
be
pack up for Philly.
Yeah, man. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
I'm so excited.
I don't
for
get
you.
excited
You guys
until, like-
we're almost like 10, 12 days, I think.
Yeah, really soon.
Yeah,
Less
really
than
soon.
2.
I'm excited just to hear about the road trip. But Callan and Raul are taking a road trip. That should
Oh,
be Periscope the entire
Raul.
time. Raul.
That's their buddy name. We'll be talking about them on the BFF episode of Odd Shaped
Yeah,
Piano.
right. They just saw like a buddy cop movie. All right. Well, speaking of Cal, he asked the first question, and he asked, "What is your favorite weapon in pop culture based on mythology or religious lore?"
Well, everybody says Excalibur because it's one of the most popular ones. But I'm gonna, even though it's not a real weapon, but I'm gonna say the blade from the Mark of Cain in
That's what I
Supernatural.
picked.
Yes.
We picked the same thing, the first blade.
The first blade, because it's a very interesting concept. It's very biblical. It's so much based. That's the thing that I love from Supernatural, how they adapt a lot of biblical stories into like the modern present times that they give a little twist on it. That's the thing that I like from Supernatural. And that tattoo, I remember 3 years ago when I went to a Supernatural convention, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. They were like those fake tattoos you can do with water. And so I put out the Marco Kane here and I was pretending that I have a knife, but I didn't have it, the first blade.
I actually did that tattoo for real on my friend Nick, and I did the Castiel handprint on his girlfriend.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I did them like in pinks and peaches and stuff so that it actually looks like a burn. It was pretty cool.
That's a very nice detail.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm drawing pictures.
He's trying to give me hints. I'm not sure what he's...
You'll figure it out later.
Okay. No, but I'm excited that you chose that because that's the obvious choice for me. What a cool looking weapon. What an interesting backstory. I loved the plot line on the show.
Yeah, also another weapon of my favorite from Supernatural, even though it's not from mythology, the Colt. That weapon has a lot of history. Even now in season 12 has a lot of story, that weapon.
Yeah, we have to catch up actually. We've been a little overwhelmed with shows because we're doing the Twin Peaks recap and the recap for American Gods, so we haven't seen very much of this season. I got spoilers. I'm very sad.
No, it's not a big spoiler. Like, it's not even close from the finale when the weapon shows up. But don't worry.
Cool. I'm excited. You want to ask him a question too?
Yeah. What mythology do you think should be on the big screen or the little screen?
I think that we need to do like, there hasn't been a movie like that explores the apocalypse, because that's the thing that I'm talking about Supernatural. It really explores so well the apocalypse in season 5 and how they adapted it with the swine flu and how is the war between the towns that they were visiting, and how it can also the four horsemen can be also like greedy corporate men. That's the thing that I like also from Supernatural in that season, in that arc. So it would be really cool if someone tries to adapt it like Supernatural, but also give it like another twist on it. Because they always do the standard biblical stories like Moses, Jesus, but no one has dared to do the apocalypse like in the biblical, like in the Bible.
They dabbled with it a little bit in Dogma, Kevin Smith's Dogma, which is my favorite of his movies. But I can't really think of too much else.
The prophecy films with Christopher Walken. They had that Gabriel, that bad movie Gabriel, where it was like a gun-wielding angel during the apocalypse, but it had some cool, like, it was like a weird, like, ice cream dude with the really long arms and legs. Weird.
Also, that movie where I think their angels are falling, but one of the angels defends some people in a diner. I don't remember the name of that movie. I think it's Legion or Dominion.
That's Gabriel.
Oh, that is that one. Oh, okay. I didn't remember the name of that one.
There's also Southland Tales, which no one's seen, but it has The Rock, Mandy Moore, Sean William Scott. I talk about this probably every 4th episode.
I know. I have seen the movie. I only remember like 10 minutes of it because I remember I saw it like on DVD of that in that year, then came out and I fell asleep. I will give it a second chance soon.
Also, we have for the Neil Gaiman fans in the group, American Gods, or the writer of American Gods is doing another show. I think they're doing a show for Good Omens, which is like a satire about the apocalypse. And we both read that book, and what I think you would like about it, Raul, is that the lead character's name is Crowley. And when you do you know where the copy of the book is so I can show him? The character is kind of very similar to Crowley from Supernatural.
He's a little bit more good looking.
Yeah, so when I read the book, when I was reading it and seeing him as Crowley the whole time, but I'm trying to get Tom to find the book because there's a depiction of him on the cover, and you're going to see how kind of similar he is.
Oh, yeah, that's like Crowley.
Right? But yeah, I look forward to that. This is a great story about the apocalypse and really funny. Terry Pratchett also co-wrote this book.
And it has the 4 horsemen in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very cool idea for a show.
Yeah, this would be a perfect if they do a good job, of course. But this is a great modern retelling of like classic mythology.
And Matt brought up Constantine to kind of like insinuate that the end of the world's about to happen because it's like the birth of the Antichrist and all like that. But
Yeah, that's true. Also, the movie and also the show. I never watched the show, but in the movie, in the ending, they were teasing the apocalypse.
which my favorite version of the devil,
Peter Stormare.
Peter Stormare, who is
Lucifer in that one. Yeah.
He's awesome in American Gods.
Yeah, he is great.
Oh, he's an American Gods also.
Dude, the casting, I had some issues with the show a little bit, and that's just because I'm nitpicking, I guess. But the acting is top notch. I will not say there's a bad act. Well, I guess there's a little bit. Still, it's good.
Want to ask him the next question?
No, that means he has to leave soon. But I'll ask him. What do you think is the best modern take on mythological story or figure?
Even though I'm doing the Candace, like always bringing the same answer, but it has to be Castiel. Yeah, it has to be Castiel because that's the thing that I like from Castiel because I have that pub also. I have also the pub with the wings.
Oh, I want that one.
I bugged Tom forever. I'm like, I need the Leviathan cast. Like specifically the Leviathan one is the one that I wanted. I loved that.
Yeah, I have regular cast, cast with the wings, and that cast also.
Nice.
And he's so good though.
Yep.
I love Misha as a human being in real life as well. We're not going to get to do Gishwas this year because we're really slammed. But Misha is a wonderful person, and Castiel, like, I can't picture anybody else playing Castiel. He's gone so many different ways in his character, and he's always, like, a delight to watch. And I loved him when he first came in his, like, true, like, angelic form. And he was, like, badass. And then to see, like, all the things that he went through and even having, like, alternate realities with where he's leading orgies and doing yoga and all this stuff. Like, they took him so many places, and he's such an interesting take on an angel.
That's why I like both him and Crowley, especially as a duo. But because they both, like, when you're introduced, we know exactly what they are. But the more time they spend with the Winchesters, especially, the closer to humanity they get.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool.
I love when he started. I think Metatron made him understand all the pop culture.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when he touched him.
That was really great.
I need that so I can understand everyone's references.
That was a very Tumblr moment. That I really like how he touched. I was like, I need to Metatron to touch me to see all of the movies that I haven't seen. That would save me a lot of time.
Metatron is in Southland Tales.
And also Dogma, played by the late great Alan
Oh,
Rickman.
yeah, different. Yeah, I was talking about Booger.
He's talking about the actor. I'm talking about Metatron.
All right. Well, last question. Jusef asked us, what mythological creature do you think is underused or misused?
Misused.
I think they're always
or like misrepresented.
I think the unicorns.
Yeah.
Yeah, because unicorns, we only have seen them like they're the cute horses that they have the horn and that's it, and they have nice hair. We don't know much about them, talking about them in TV shows, in movies. It will be so interesting not to do a little pony, My Little Pony, those shows, like try to go like more deep on the unicorn thing. I don't remember very much, but I have my mom, since I was little, she watched the movie Legend so many times, and I only remember the devil. He always wanted to kill the unicorn. I don't remember what was the purpose of he uses the horn or something. I don't remember that part.
Because if you drink the blood of the unicorn, you get what? Do you get immortality? What is it?
Yeah, because I don't remember a lot of that movie. I only remember that the devil wants to have sex with the girl that Tom Cruise wants. I remember Tom Cruise on the lake, and I remember how Tom Cruise gets to the castle. That's the only things that I remember of that movie, even though I saw it like 4 times when I was little.
I can only remember Tim Curry being a badass.
Oh yeah, very nice makeup.
There are in Game of Thrones, again, back over to Game of Thrones, there's this island called Skagos, which they talk about in the books and not really the show, but it's filled with like cannibals and unicorns.
It's cannibal, or it's unicorn riding cannibals.
Or the other way. Cannibals riding unicorns. Right?
Both.
Well, you said it's cannibals riding unicorns is different than
They
unicorns
really
riding
like
cannibals.
unicorns.
But
Oh,
wish they
like
would
the
go-
unicorn from Cabin in the Woods that kills
Right.
people. Yes.
But I do wish they would go to Skagos on the show, just because I feel like Skagos is like a dark interpretation of like a place with unicorns. Like if you think of a place with unicorns, you're thinking of like what Asgard looks like or something. You're not thinking of like this dark place filled with cannibals. So that would be interesting take.
I agree.
That sounds very interesting.
Supernatural was good too. The unicorn on there.
The unicorn farting rainbows.
Yeah.
It's a classic GIF.
I think that's
Alright,
season
well, that's everything,
7,
though.
I think. Season 7, I think,
Yeah,
when
that sounds about right.
it's when Sam and Dean goes to the child that draws everything, right? That draws the
Yeah.
unicorn and draws the fish and
Giant
the,
robot.
yeah, the robot also.
That was a good episode.
For sure. Well, Raul, did you have anything that you wanted to plug?
No, just if you're gonna come in Philly and meet all of us, we're gonna be there on Saturday, but also I'm gonna be there also since Friday, and you can see us there. And also plugging the stuff, OSP, everything.
Yeah, apparently Saturday there's going to be, I haven't been told any of the details, but apparently there's going to be a chance to win the belt from Brian.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, I have
Well,
heard also.
They're working out the details. I don't know.
There
but-
may or may not be some sort of fan friction thingy with the channel on Saturday, but we don't know yet what the details are, so don't hold us to that.
And like I said, I think I said to a friend in Mexico, like this is gonna be like one of the biggest crossovers of the year. Like everybody's gonna cross over in Philly.
It's a shame we can't bring Mavis. That's the only thing.
Oh, maybe she's the Nick Fury.
Oh my god.
Nick Furry.
Oh, I want to get a eye patch.
Nice. No.
No, leave her beautiful life.
All right. Well, thank you, Raul.
Bye, Raul. We'll see you
Bye,
next
guys.
time, and we'll see you in Philly.
See you in Philly.
Goodbye.
Our last caller tonight is going to be Mormo, so we're going to go ahead and send him out an invitation. And he usually picks his stuff that I totally never think about, but are always good choices, so I think he'll be a good place to end the show. Send me questions, please, for our BFF episode. I'm just going to keep telling you until I get some questions. And thank you to the viewers that are still here. You guys have been awesome in the chat. Eric, I hope that you'll come on cam next time. And thanks so much for all of your input in the chat. It's been a blast.
Yeah, half of the fun of the show is just watching you guys talk in the chat while we're discussing. So, thanks for entertaining us at the same time.
Yes. Raul helped me represent Supernatural, like I knew he would.
I'm not surprised at all.
I know. I wrote him like, it's your time to shine.
Still, the Loki reveal in Supernatural is still one of my favorite things. I love the trickster.
Gabriel, Loki, Trickster, a man of many names. It's just he's faceted like a diamond. I don't know what that means.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
You do. You just gotta look with your heart of hearts.
Where's Mama?
So, oh, here we go.
He's faceted like a diamond.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, what's up, dude?
I don't want to alarm you, but it appears that you're on fire.
Yeah, my camcorder was still set up from last time I was on, and
That's all right. It's gonna be great during the edit episode. No one's gonna know what's going on. So, first
what's
off,
up?
great to see you. And second, our buddy Cal asked, "What's your favorite weapon in pop culture based on mythology or religious lore?"
Oh wow, that's a good question. And I think I'm gonna come up with the real oddball one. It's a dagger that was in the movie The Shadow.
Oh snap!
And I remember it from the pinball game. I used to play the Shadow pinball game, and there was the dagger right there.
Yeah, I remember that. I love that movie.
I like it too.
I think I still wish there was like a Justice League of the Phantom, the Shadow, and the Rocketeer. I have a Rocketeer up here toy. That era of, if you can call them superhero movies, was awesome. I guess the radio serial adventure movies.
Yeah. I remember my dad's a martial arts instructor, and I remember when I was a kid, he would go to this martial arts supply store, and they had like a replica of that knife. So I've seen it like so many times.
Oh, cool.
Alrighty.
Are you
Delisha.
hearing an echo or?
I'm not. Are you hearing one?
Yeah, I am.
Uh-oh. Make sure you don't have the other window open from the show.
I don't think I do. Well, if you're not hearing it, then I guess it's not a problem.
Delisha asked, what mythology would you like to see explored on the big or small screen?
Probably like pagan religion, or when around the time when Christianity took over.
Yeah, I
agree.
I would love to see stuff with like the Horn God. Or the Green Man. I don't think like we have anything with that. That's at least positive. Like maybe some,
like the God of the Hunt.
Yes. Even with like, there's like a tale with like Odin and the Wild Hunt, which is again like associated with pagan different rituals and stuff like that. So I think that's definitely a cool answer.
Yeah.
Without it just being witches, you know what I mean? Like
actual
the actual like gods and stuff.
Unfortunately, it has been like bastardized in pop culture because of people's views on paganism and I don't want to say other.
Yeah, and then those witch torture movies where the guy tortured the witch in a dungeon or something like.
Yeah, but yeah, I could totally go for a cool movie that's about actual paganism. You know.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, well, Ashley asked us, what do you think is the best modern take on a mythological story or figure?
Oh, wow. I'm sure somebody said it already, but that Thor movie was pretty cool.
No, actually,
no one said that,
no one said it, and I'm so excited for the new Thor movie.
Oh, it looks awesome.
Yeah, I haven't been following it. I saw the first one and then hadn't seen any of the other ones, but that first one was pretty cool. I thought it had a good cast and looked cool. And
yeah, I thought it was beautiful. I actually like both of the Thor movies that are out so far, and liking the second one is kind of an unpopular opinion, but I'm a huge fan of the fantasy genre. And I feel like that's where Marvel gets to show off their fantasy side, is in the Thor movies. And I think what they did with Asgard is beautiful. I think the costuming is really gorgeous and interesting.
Loki and Thor have like a buddy cop kind of relationship in Thor 2, and they're like doing a tour of Asgard.
Yeah.
You decapitated your grandfather. Like, remember that? That was really funny.
I like the casting on the parents, obviously. It's good. I love Thor.
All right, one last one. Jusef asked us, what mythological creature do you think has been completely misused?
I'm gonna say spirits.
Do you have an example or
a specific?
Well, they're always like scary and up to no good in the movies, I know, and I'm sure there's good spirits out there too.
Yeah, I feel like the only time we get to see like good spirits is like the ancestral spirits in like Disney movies.
Moana
or
was really good
Mulan.
with that. Yeah. But then those are also like reflecting how the cultures that they're depicting in those movies see especially ancestral spirits as guiding them, you know.
What does that say about us as a cult? I'm just saying, because like if some cultures, you know, think that ghosts are are good and are a depiction of like their ancestors,
I think it's a
and we're just scared
of our fear of death.
Yeah, totally.
We get deep here on OSP.
Yeah, totally. We're woke here.
All right, and with that, I think that's as good time as any to wrap it up.
Do you have anything to plug, Mormo, real quick?
Well, really quick, I'd like to talk about your Patreon campaign.
You guys are doing a great job. Thank you.
Well, would you be open to like a new perk?
I mean,
message us, for sure.
Message us, and we'll talk about it just so we can float it by the rest of the patrons. But we're always open to new ideas. Some of those perks, honestly, are just fillers until someone suggests something better.
Yeah.
So
whatever you guys want, really.
I'm trying to get my own show off the ground.
Oh. Well, you know what? Maybe we can do like a peep show instead of watching a movie just dedicated to a person. Like the peep is the person.
Well, yeah, just
we'll figure it out.
Just message us, Mormo, and we'll definitely do what we can for you.
We'll just spitball.
Yeah.
Cool, right on. Yeah. I really like Patreon. I think it's a great website, and I really enjoy it and everything.
Yes, and without our patrons, we wouldn't look this good, sound this good, or going to PhillyCon probably.
And we wouldn't have business cards to pass out in Philly. So thank you, guys.
Oh wow. Awesome. Well, great, guys. It was great talking to you. I haven't painted up in a while, and I actually am a mythological creature. So,
and you're underused. You should be everywhere.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a great night.
Have a great night, Mormo.
We'll see you soon.
Okay.
Another great content creator that comes on and talks to us. I don't have everybody because I didn't know exactly who was going to be on tonight. So if there's a content creator that is not down in the script, we keep all of like an update of, I believe the last thing Mormo did was an Alien review. I think he did a positive review on Alien.
Yeah, and check out his reviews. Mormo is a super nice guy. We love that dude, and we like that he does positive reviews. So even if it's a movie that not a lot of people enjoyed, he tries to find the best parts of that movie and talk about the good stuff, and I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, and he's trying to get a lot of work with charity off the ground too. So if that's something you're dedicated to or have a passion about, contact him. I'm sure he would love to.
He's at Mormozine,
yes.
Zine. So. Yeah.
That's it, guys. That's been our episode. I think it was a good one. I think it's one for the ages. I think it's legend. Wait for it.
Dairy.
I said wait for it. I've been Tom.
I've been Kimber.
And you can tweet at me at OddShapePanel.
And me at Kimberbatch_OSP.
And please check out, we have the new website off the ground, www.oddshapedchannel.com. There you can find our next live episode links, our blog, which everyone collaborates on. Most of the people you've seen have probably written for the blog. And links to other guest content and other content that we're featured on, such as like the Enlightenment Hour, Purple Dawn, or Movies and Me with Nolan Dean. So yeah, check those out. And thank you so much. It's been fun as always.